Okay.
Right. So greetings. My name's Halid. I'm one of the hosts here at WeBuildBlack and virtual code and chill. And the things that we do here is we talk about all things tech, right? Various topics in tech, not more so the tech career side, right? Because I'm starting a business, so I haven't been in the career side for a bit, but more about all things technical, right? Software development, right? Front end, back end, mobile, DevOps, databases, and tooling. Um, so that's not so a little introduction. I've been in for the industry for about 5 years. Worked in the major financial spaces. Worked with various technologies. Worked at PwC, Wells Fargo, and I try to host these. And I partner with We Build Black. And my organization's WindMillCode. I partner with We Build Black so that every Saturday I get some of my time, try to share what I know with my community, and hopefully I can learn something for you guys as well. Right? I need to learn too as well. So that is my introduction. All right. And for the first timers,
Okay.
thanks for joining. Yeah. All right. And yeah. All right. Thank you. And then Frey is that's how. Yep. Why
Freedom
don't you go?
Melinda.
Oh, yep. Um, it's your turn at the. Yeah, I forgot the game. I forgot how it's called, but I think it's like it's something that it's called when we're at work when everyone's introducing themselves. It's cold, but it's your turn to introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah, nice to meet y'all. My name is Freedom Melinda, but you could just call me Free. Um, or Jada. That's my name growing up. Um, yeah, I live in Jersey. I I've been on a mission to learn Linux for about like a year and a half now. About like 2 years. Not about a year and a half. And I got my AWS developer cert, and I'm learning currently learning Terraform and um like EKS. I'm trying to get to know Kubernetes a little bit. But yeah, I'm in the group with that's called Women in Linux. They kind of put me on to the whole, what tech is about and stuff. So um now I'm just trying to explore and and network and trying to get a job right now. So right now I'm doing QA for a tech company that's well, it's not even a tech company, it's like a customer service company, but I'm trying to get an actual tech job. So um just networking and trying to build up projects for my resume.
All right. So yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And then what cert was that? Was that Azure or AWS?
Yep. And I got 3 dogs. So excuse me if you hear them barking, chihuahuas in the back.
Yeah, the background is. Yeah, let me tell you something about background noise. It's like, well, Google, right? When I'm on Google Meet, like you virtually can't hear that background noise, right? I'm not sure if it's the same here, right? So, is anyone hearing background noise from my end?
No.
It's probably my computer then. Yeah, but all right, very well. All right, very well. Back to it. It's a side topic. To talk about your audio settings on your computer. But yeah, what cert was that again? Was it AWS or Azure?
AWS
Okay,
developer.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
After that, once I get Linux down packed, I'll probably go for the professional um architect
yeah.
associate.
Yeah, I have practitioner certificate, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I always like working with Azure. AWS. Working with that, it could be tough sometimes because like you try to do something and it always doesn't work. That's my experience. Your experience might be different. People say that AWS is like number one around the world, but you never know. You never know.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So there's that, and then Terraform the EKS. Let me tell you something about EKS because what I want to do is for one of the applications that I'm working on. So right now we're running our server on Azure, And eventually, what we want to do is I want to learn Elastic Kubernetes service because it's a media application, right? It allows you to manage your for content creators. It allows you to manage your channel in bulk. It's a media application, and you can imagine with all that processing like thumbnails and videos, right? Sometimes when users are using it, we want to have more nodes in the Kubernetes network, and then other times we want to spin down, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, that's a great use case where it's like, okay, Kubernetes, right? If you could put and you be able to, all right, you could, yeah, that's a great use case, and I'll definitely, hopefully, keep you around as you continue as you go along here, but all right, so I think with that, let's move over to Steve. I think I gotta, and Steve, I think you have to unmute yourself. I think I muted you because yeah, I did hear some background noise. So
Sorry about that.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear
Okay. So yeah, my name's Steven. From Brooklyn, New York. I have about 10 years of experience in like general IT, like mostly concentration in like network admin and engineering for the past 10 years, but I'm trying to get into like software development and trying to get more on the software side. Uh, I have my certs in like CCNA, all the.
you. Yeah, I think Steve, you went out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
Yeah, so I have my certs in like CCNA, all the CompTIA certs, A plus, Security plus, Network plus. I just recently got my because I'm like trying to transition. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, so because I'm trying to transition into like software development, I just recently got my BA in data analytics from an online college. So we focused like a lot on just basic programming fundamentals like algorithms and like Python and R. So right now I'm just trying to practice the skills I learned and maybe in the future like get like an entry level job just because I know like my strength isn't in software development. It's mostly in like networking and networking principles. I think I want to start just wherever. I don't really have like I know like I don't really have like a preference. I just want to like have an opportunity to apply the things I've been learning. So that's it.
All right, very good. Yeah, very good. Right. So when it comes to software, IT into that software role, many people want to get into that development role. As I hear, even though I think tech, that's good, right? I would even say to get into those roles, right? When
Mm.
it comes to the rural software, right, you want to try to work with the technologies that everybody's working with, that everybody's most famous, that the most famous ones are, right? So my tech stack is not a good tech stack, right? We have Angular,
Right.
we have Flask, and we have Flutter. Okay, don't want to learn those, especially Angular. What you guys want to do is React, as you heard of, like Next.js and what it's doing, Node.js, and even Spring Boot, right? I think I'm also based out of New York as well. In this area, there's a lot of Java jobs hiring. There's always like people reach out to me for Java. So Java Spring Boot, even though it's very difficult, that's another one. There's Node.js, right? And Express, which will help you learn how to build APIs. There's probably like with Next or Nuxt, they have another name for it now. But Node.js and Express, right? There's that,
Mm.
or Spring Boot, right? So that is your front end back end combo, right? And then yeah, front end back end combo, right? And then I think that should be good enough, um, right, to get your experience to know what to expect when you're trying to
Right.
apply for roles. At least you'll see that okay, they're looking for React, I got React. They're looking for Node, I got Node, and then AWS even if they're looking for hosting, running your application on AWS, put it in on Elastic Vista for the back end, and then Amplify for the front end, right? Those would be good. Those would
Right.
be good. Very good. Very good. All right. So and then we have people who are returning again. Roberto, how you doing, Roberto?
Hey, how are you guys? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds good. I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. What is it? This is my second time here. I was here a few weeks back. Um, but yeah, just I have a background in healthcare, just trying to get into software development. Um, yeah, I've been right now I'm learning Django. Because prior to that I've done some applications for my resume and Express.js. I mainly use React for like front end and what is it? Um, I tend to stay clear of just writing raw CSS, so I use some of the other frameworks. What is it?
Taylor.
Yeah, Tailwind and this one by oh my god, Material UI. I really like just for the ease of use. Um, and yeah, just try to network and meet other people trying to do the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. You know, um, it's great to write CSS still sometimes. Um, and you're not using SCSS, right?
No, I what is it? I've seen it used in like some of the tutorials I've seen. Um, but yeah, because especially when you're like trying to create an app like front end, back end, and everything, it just becomes completely overwhelming when you have to do absolutely everything on your own, right?
Yeah.
And especially CSS just tends to be a bit difficult, especially when you have a lot of stuff to display on the screen. And it's the reasons why I like stick to just not writing raw CSS. Like I'm pretty sure it's doable, but it wouldn't be something that you can like get done in like let's say a few weeks. Because when you go back to like again creating a full application, you could probably end up spending months on it, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but um, when you're trying to just create stuff to have on your resume or just have on your GitHub, I feel like time is of the essence.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, definitely, yeah, no, yeah, I'm hearing you as well. I'm hearing as well. CSS could be very difficult. It's not saying like sometimes like, you could probably what I'm trying to indicate is that you can have 99% of Tailwind, and then for that extra use case 1% CSS, right? Like even I was dealing with this situation where CSS was like excessively hard. I had to take a component, and then I had to change its CSS, right? Especially writing CSS from scratch is one thing, but taking a component and then modifying it CSS so it could fit into your application, right? It could get rather tough. So yeah, I'm actually even if I just had to have the time, but I definitely want to try to integrate Tailwind into my application, see the all the extra cool things you could do, like the animations, right? So animations, Tailwind gives you those classes, try to bring those websites more to life. So, you know, I definitely hear you on that. I definitely hear you on that, and it's cool that you're looking at Django as well. All right, very well. Um, very well. And then Dimitri, welcome back. I know last week we were working on that. We were working on a Java application, right?
Yeah,
Introduce
we were
yourself.
working on a. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we were working on a Gomoku game in Java, and I kind of need help now because well, let me introduce myself first. My name's Dimitri. I joined for the first time last week. I'm currently in a program where they're trying to teach us how to code for Java and SQL. And they're gonna do the place is called Genesis 10. Um, so right now for this week, um, the project that I kind of need help with is to make a solar farm, and it's like an application layer in Java. Um, but yeah, it's a lot. I've never done any kind of coding before this. So just looking to kind of like bounce ideas off of people, see if I can like get in the right direction because I'm a bit unorganized on like how to do this, and we move pretty fast here. So if any of you guys are looking to switch careers, go into software development, like I would highly like look into it, look into what languages you need to learn. Like obviously, I think you said Java was one that's really popular. Java is important, SQL is important, Python is. So yeah, just just prepare yourself. I'm saying, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. All right. How much progress? Yeah, because I really wanna try to get my hands on that game. We're making. How much progress? How much progress since then?
Oh, on the game?
Yeah.
Oh, I finished it. I submitted it already.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, what do you have now? Do you have another Java project, or that's it?
No, I every week we have a new project, so it's
Okay.
it's it's never going to stop.
Oh,
Yeah, like I said, we have to make an application layer. And I'm kind of lost here because we're going from I think it was like text-based to database coding. If I'm saying that right. But yeah, I'm just kind of a little bit lost here because I don't really know how to generate tests for some of these things, and I think for the solar panel thing, I'm not sure how to go about coding for some of the requirements. But yeah, whenever you're available, just could use some help.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Yeah. So I think with that, right?
Mhm.
Everyone here, right, trying to get into tech. One of the things I always try to always try to tell people, right, try to work in a team. But I think I mean, at least for Roberto, I think Roberto was working on a project, right? When it comes to like building applications, right? You want to have a structure in a place. You want to have like a pattern going. You want to,
Mhm.
right? Roberto, did I tell you about the book, Code Complete?
No.
Okay. I want you to just read the first page of the book, right? At least I know that you don't learn by books. How do you learn? Books, listen to people, video.
Combination. I mean, I
Okay.
do have some books. What is it? Cracking the Code interview, which has been very helpful.
Yeah, but that's for data structures and
Yeah.
engines. That's not for like building a software application, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so code complete, right? Clean code is like everything should like when you're writing your code, everything should feel repetitive. Like you're copying a block and you're pasting it somewhere else, and you just use it over and over again, right? So there's that, and then clean code, right? Which talks about yeah, I think code completes the architecture stuff, and then clean code is like all right, just like these basics on how you want to approach your code, right? So there is that, but when I see the people here, right? When I see the people here, what I'm thinking is that like everyone here could work together, right, to hone their skills on a bigger project, right? But for like cloud and then DevOps, right? For AWS and Azure, right? In order to increase your skills, right? You want to try to be able to find a project, right, where you could try to set up on AWS, right? But you have to have the application first, right? And then same goes for like those trying to get into software development. Those that like if you build the app now, deploying the application, running the application, right? You want to be able to find a place to put that application and serve it live to the world. That's what I'm seeing when everyone's introducing themselves. But let me go ahead. I think first things first. Want to try to get that book Code Complete.
Is the full name of it Code Complete, a practical handbook of software construction?
Yeah, yeah, but I don't want you to just try and go out. I mean, you can try and go out and buy it, but there's also GitHub. There's a GitHub document which you can use for free. What I like to do is that like when I'm looking for books, like and I'm not working on books, reading books a lot because I'm working on a project. But there's also this GitHub document I pasted in the chat. Let me know if you see it.
Hey, I just got a call from my husband. Somebody slashed his tire. I gotta go bring him his tools that's in my car.
Oh, damn.
I'm not gonna leave though. I'm gonna just bring my computer with me. Let me
No,
switch.
go take. You don't want your. Okay, all right, sounds good, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm gonna just switch to my I'm gonna put my computer on my phone's internet. That way I can still hear y'all while I'm driving.
All right, sounds good.
So if you don't hear me responding, that's why. But I'm still listening to y'all. I'm about to put y'all in my ear with my headphones.
All right, very well. All right, all right. So, Roberto, you see those books that I put in the chat?
No, I don't see it.
I sent it all the way to Dimitri. That's why. All right, let me put it in there for everyone.
Oh wait, you sent what to me?
Yeah, no, I only sent it to you. I need to send it to. All right, here you go. All right, check now, Roberto.
Okay, I got it now.
All right, good. All right, all right, good. Sounds good. Okay. Okay, yeah, so those are like, as you go along. Not asking you to read the whole book, but at least just the first few pages, right? To like get an idea. Okay, like, hey, this is how I should structure my code, right? Because I think Roberto even touching on CSS, right? Applications that you write could get really big, and it could take a very long time. Even this project, right? I was aiming to like finish this like video management project in a month, but I think there's a lot of new skills that I'm learning. And right now it's 4 months, and 3 months. I think 3 months going on to 4, and I was almost done with the project, but it's what has happened now is that right, there's a compliance issue, right? So our application, what it does is, what I need the application to do now is, in addition to managing users' videos, it has to edit that user video metadata. So now, right, a project so now I have to make this dashboard where users could come in, edit their video data, right, and then to get the right scopes to be able to write to the user storage, there has to be a reason, right, for the application to write, and that reason is and the reason that I made was, okay, every time the user makes a change to a bunch of their videos, right, I'm gonna write the previous draft to their Google storage, right, so that if they made a mistake, right, they can easily restore it. Their changes are not like one and done, right? And this goes, and then we had another part of the application where we needed a rich text editor, right? Does anyone know what a rich text editor is?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So rich text editor. Let me share my screen here, and now I'm actually looking for something.
Isn't that where it removes all the formatting? Pretty much.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone can see it. But right here is a rich text editor, right? So you kind of see that, and I think this still has to get worked out. Yeah, some things have to get worked out here, but you can see as we add emojis, like you can add emojis, you can add. It's like your Microsoft Word, right? But in a web application, right? So that's what a rich text editor is, and then that's something that you have to integrate into your application, right? In order to like have the users get more feel, the users will want to pay for something like this, right? When they're editing their content and it's just plain text, that's not good, right? We want to be able to have them underline, bold, insert images, all that good stuff. So, and then ordered list, right? So I say that all to say is that right, when you look at it's definitely hard to see how difficult a project would be, right? But before you work on a project, and I think that's what those two books would explain. I don't think they explain it to that degree, but before that, you work on like you try to work on a software application, right? You want to try to break everything down individually, like write out like, okay, these are all the things that I'll need that needs to happen in this application, right? Can I do them one by one, right? So basically, right, say for example subscriptions, right? There's like three payment providers that we know out there. There's Shopify, there's a Stripe, and then there is Square, right? So basically, you want to say, okay, I want to make sure I can get subscriptions, right? Before you start working on the application, right? You want to try each payment provider and then see which payment which is easiest to do. You want to be able to list out, okay, this is everything my application needs to do with the payment provider, right? Then you want to list that, and then you want to try each of them. You want to see, like in each own little space, right? Will this work, right? Will this do everything I'll need it to do, or be too hard, right? We have also another situation where we're stuck with Shopify, where we're trying to do sell subscriptions and we can't, and it's one of those things that making the project go too long, right? So that's what it comes. So like in those ways, that's what you want to try to do with application development. You want to be able to, before you start working on the application, you want to, there's third party tools. There's many third party tools and libraries that you install, right? Like like Tailwind for example, right? Tailwind is going to be great. You should definitely go through it, right? But even so, just an example, maybe Tailwind has like a feature that um or maybe Tailwind doesn't have. There's a feature and you want to make sure Tailwind has it before you start work on the project, and you're like, oh wow, Bootstrap has this feature, Tailwind doesn't, and you're stuck, right? You want to be able to check off all the boxes about whatever you use to build an application, right? Before you go ahead and start to work with it. Okay, right? So like, going back to Django and Spring Boot, right, and application development, right? Even yeah. So what you want to do is like before, like you start to work for projects for like others, right? You start to work on your own projects, and then on your own projects, right? What do I want to build? Do I want to build a resume? Do I want a resume app? Do I want to build a restaurant app? Right? What do I want to build? All right. Before you go in there, try to ask yourself, all right, what are all the features? Then try to find the third parties for all those features, and try to see which third party is easiest to use for those features on that to do that feature. And then once you have them all checked out, be like, all right, this is the technology I'm using. Let's build this project. The project should take faster to build, faster to than it would be. Does anyone understand? Anyone understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You kind of want to just build like you want to put it write down or have an idea of where you're gonna go. Like, this is the first feature that I want to work on. Okay, how am I gonna work on that? How am I gonna get it done? And then what are tools that I can use to make this feature as easy as possible? That you can just you might be able to find something that you just plug in and play, and it'll be done, instead of you having to like write the whole code for everything from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah, Dimitri, you understand that?
I'm gonna be honest, not really. That kind of went over my head a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So in the boot camp, are they teach you about Spring Boot, or you're just playing Java?
No, they haven't mentioned anything about Spring Boot.
Have you ever had to install anything?
Oh, I've had to. You mean like IntelliJ or like
Like,
Maven?
yeah,
No.
Maven. Yeah, Maven. Yeah, I know. Yeah, have you ever had to install anything with Maven? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have, but I mean, I don't really know. I've never heard of Spring Boot. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So Spring Boot is that API. Is all right. So Spring Boot is what's known as a framework, right? What's a
Mhm.
framework? A framework makes life, it makes coding easier. Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just imagine it like this, right? If you had to build your house, would you build it with bare hands, or would you build it with like a trap with a construction, like yeah, I'm trying to think of a with a construction vehicle. I'm thinking tractor trailer. I know that that's used in farms, but
No, I understand what you're talking
yeah.
about.
So
It's just a tool you use to make the work you're doing a little bit easier for coding in this case.
yeah, but see, and what we're talking about here is that you want it. All right, so when you get to Spring Boot, right? So Spring Boot is the framework, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Though there's like when it comes to API development, right? This is talking about server, right? Let's talk about one feature in API development, right? They're sending emails, right? Um, when, say, for example, if a user creates an account or they forgot their password or they want to delete their account, your server needs to send an email to that user, right? Letting them know, hey, this
Mhm.
is what happened, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is that there could be several Java packages out there, right? And even Spring Boot might have one, right, for sending emails, right? But before you work on the application, right, you should list out what do you need the emails to do. Do you, can the emails just be plain color without any color in it, or does it need to be
Mhm.
colorful? Right? Does the emails need to animate? Does it need to have its own style? Like, can it take certain images? Can I embed can I put images into the email, or can they just those images live on another server? Right? Which like you say, okay, this is the feature. We need that email feature, right? These are all the tiny little details about the feature. All right. Once you list that out, then what you want to do, check which Java package is going to best work. So check them one by one. It's like, okay, email in plain color, right? All right, package one works, package two works. Email in full color, right? Package three works, right? They're like, all right, package three is the one that I need, right? Put images. Package one works. Package three works, and then images don't work. That'll be a package two. So you're like, all right, then package three is the package to go, right? So it's just basically like, because when you're in the application, when you're building an application, and then as Roberto said, it could take a very long time, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to like take package one out and then put in package two. It's like the beams were supposed to be metal, but they're made of wood. But the whole wall was already built. So like you have to
Mhm.
live with it. Yeah. So you have to live with it, right? So like before you get into like building the application, you're like, all right, find like the right material. Like the tool's one thing, but then you find the right material before you work on the application.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Right. So, there's that. There's that. Right. So, with that, so like I think with that one thing out, and then Steve, also for you, right? I know you're getting into application development.
Yeah. I actually have a
Right.
question. Why do you choose Spring Boot? Like I've never heard of Spring Boot for Java. Is that like a popular framework for Java?
Yeah, I think it's like
I
the
think
only one.
it's the
I
only
think so.
one. Okay.
And
For
popular.
like
Yeah.
web
Where
apps?
have you heard it? Yeah, for server development, right? So
Okay.
when it comes to applications, right? There is front end, right? It's what is called front end, and that's for like web applications, right? So it's not like
Right.
an application's all in one. There is there is what you see, and then there's what the server is doing. Like it's kind of like when I think about it now, it from outside looking in, it does look like it's all one application, but it's really not.
Right. I understand. I
Yeah.
understand the concept. I understand the concept. Like Okay, yeah, I get the concept. Not the specifics, unless you want to go into that, but I get the concept between like uh languages and structures for front end and back end. I haven't actually like implemented it, but I understand like the difference between like what the application is doing on the back end, like with like database.
Yeah, I think you cut out. Yeah, Steve, you cut out. Hey guys, is it me or
Login or the path. Yeah, but that's it. I don't know how much you got, but
yeah?
so 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 for Java, like what would be like a language and a framework for the front end, for an example?
It'll be anything. It could be anything. See, that's the thing. They're separate. They're like separate. How
Right.
they communicate, how the client, which is the front end, and then mobile too, right? You can have a mobile app, right? How they would communicate is is through REST API. So when we say a web application, right? When we say a mobile application, right? You could think of
Mm.
like TD Bank, the website, and then TD Bank, the mobile app, right? Yeah, they're
Hmm.
websites and they're mobile apps, but they're really clients. They're really a client, and the client has to reach out to the server.
So it has to
The
make a
ser-
request to the server.
yeah, and how it does that is REST API.
Right.
So
Okay.
so yeah so Spring Boot, all these backend frameworks, Spring Boot, Express, Flask, Django, they're they're written in their own language, but what's common among all of them is that they could receive REST API requests,
Okay.
right? And then what will happen is that it will process it. It will be like, all right, say for example, get my balance. See if we're going to the TD Bank service and you make an API call to get my balance, right? Depending on how the server is set up, the architecture that's like it's very simple, very simple. But depending on how the server is set up, it will either go to a database, it will either make a API call to another server living somewhere else, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, servers can make API calls to other places, and then it will get that data and send it to the client, right? It will send it back
Right.
to the client, right? Right, and really you know, that's that's how application and that's how full stack application development is, right? So they're not really dependent on each other, like that, right? So like Flask and Django, right? They have like their respective, yeah. So they're not dependent, even though you can hear of like Flask, Django, and PHP, right? So PHP is like is where you PHP is like is a framework where like the client and the server are one and the same, right? In a way,
Hmm.
one and the same, right? Because at the end of it, what's really happening is that your computer or your phone is the client, right? And then this Gather app you see right now, yes, it's a front end, but your phone had to make an API call, right? And then there's
Hmm.
different ways to get data, but so far API call to get the client to get this screen that you're seeing right now, right? This screen that you're seeing right now, it's really code, right? And it had to
Right.
come from the web server. Um, so because of that, right? There's frameworks such out there like PHP, where it also sends you the code you need to see the screen, as well as make additional calls to get data from the from like the database, wherever you want to call it, to populate that screen. So
Okay. Is it making the additional calls to like update the screen?
yeah,
Okay. So it's sending you like the original rendering of like the page, and then it's making additional calls to the back end to get that additional information to like update the interface, the client.
yeah,
Do I got that right?
yeah.
Like generally?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's exactly what's happening. You know, I like, um, like if you think about it, yeah, it's really like it's really that's all. It's just all that communication, like all like this full stack application development is all possible through networking and communication. That's all that's happening. Like everything else you
Right.
hear about it is just trying to make it secure, right? Like you need a username and password to log in, right? Some endpoints need to be authenticated, right?
Right.
So there's that, right? HTTPS, right? There's a connection, right? You already know what HTTPS is and what that means,
Yeah.
right? And applications need that, right? So that when the client is retrieving data from the server, right? MIT people, hackers can't get at that data because it's encrypted, and they need that key, right, in order to unencrypt it. So
Right.
that's so yeah. So you know yeah, application is not too far from networking, right? Everything's already communicating. You just have to now write the code. What makes application development is you have to write the code that will say, okay, when the
Right.
user clicks a button or when the user starts watching a movie, now go get that data, right? That's what makes application um, code so difficult at times, right? Moving it over.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. Right, so there is that. So there is that, and then free, right? And then right with that, right? I want to ask about like the networking, right? When it comes to Kubernetes, and then applications all overall, right? How d- when when you're taught when you're taking the courses, right? When you got that certification, right? I think what I'm trying to ask is, right, setting up those networks so that different applications and then different devices could communicate with each other, right? Is it straightforward, or are there like certain protocols such as firewalls, right, that you have to deal with, such as subnets, right? How does that work? Can you explain a little bit?
No, because I haven't gotten that far into the EKS,
Okay.
and it's different. They don't really cover that. They cover a little bit of of containerism, um,
Okay.
but they don't fully go into that with the developer, the AWS developer.
But then the nodes with the communicating of nodes, right? Um,
Mhm.
like is there like communication like even, all right, even before communication, is there like, okay, this node is where your server is, right, and then this node is a duplication of that server, right? Or I'm trying to, well, I haven't used Kubernetes, right, so I'm kind of struggling with this, but are there like are nodes, is the nodes like one server replicated, or like what's running on each node in the Kubernetes clusters that you worked with?
Um, I just know that you got um the master. I know they don't want to call it master uh, anymore, but you got the master orchestrator, I guess you could say, and they control the nodes or something like that. I forget. I gotta.
But like what's running on each node? Like is like application running on each node? Or you don't? All right.
No, I'm
Or you
not
didn't get
sure.
to see
I'm
that
not
tail end.
sure.
Like is there? All right. Let's talk about like the system resources like memory and like CPU, right? Does the leader node, does it increase the amount of nodes available when there's CPU, when the CPU is too high, when the memory's too high, when it sees that it reaches a certain threshold, it would be like, all right, more nodes into the cluster. Something like, they show you that, or
I don't know. That's a good question. I would think it depends on that.
I think what it is like, see, I don't know much about Kubernetes, so I might use the wrong terminology, but I think as we go along, maybe we'll be able to touch base. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but even in Kubernetes, right? But in the application, right now, as your application gets bigger, right now going back to everybody, right? As your application gets bigger, right? A media application, let's say that we're working on, right? Right. Role of Kubernetes here is that once this application, once the resources, right, that the nodes are already using. Like now, let's say your server is a Kubernetes cluster with a bunch of nodes, right? Um, and then like the metrics for like what's a good. So there's four metrics, right? There's CPU, there's network bandwidth, right? There's memory, and I forget the fourth one, but essentially, right, you want to keep those, you want to write your application code to keep those system resources as low as possible, right? So so just to make sure everyone's on the same page, right? When you have your server, right, Kubernetes cluster, we're going to call it Kubernetes cluster, making a call to your database, right, for resources, right? Um, would you want that server to call it several times or one time? Call that database several times or one time?
One time.
Yeah, one time.
One time.
Right. Yeah, but now, okay, what's the SQL? What's the SQL type? So we know a couple things about SQL. We know about views, right? We know about tables, right? We know about functions. What's that SQL that you need to write in order in situations where you could only call, where you end up calling it less? There's SQL triggers. There's all, anyone knows? It starts with a P.
E.
Yeah, it starts with a P.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm sure. All right, very good. It's a SQL procedure, right? So, like, say for example, right, that you had to get. Say for example, that you had to make an update in the database, and then you had to get the results based on that update, right? Instead of make a call to update the database, then get X amount of rows after that update has changed, right? You do it all in a procedure. It's like a SQL procedure is like one big function. Okay, so it's a function, right? But right, you might have situations, right, in your application, right? So before you want to get to Kubernetes, right, you want to try to write your code in a way that doesn't use too much system resources, right? Calling the database several times, right? That's going to be high on network I/O, right? That's going to be high on CPU, and if it's high enough, right, in such a big enough application where there's like millions of users, right, you're going to have to start to scale horizontally, right? But you could write better code using SQL procedure so that you're not making as many calls to the database, and you don't need to scale out, because anytime you scale, you start to replicate, grow the amount of nodes that you need, right? Then you'll start to get more costly. Your project's going to get more costly to run, right? And that always comes back to like planning from the beginning, right? So Java, so like APIs such as Java, even in the Python, right? They're not optimal, right? Java, especially Spring Boot. Well, I haven't worked with Spring Boot, but from what I know about Java, and then Dimitri, if you heard this, just mention it, right? Is that Java applications, they use a lot of memory, right? Is that true,
Yeah.
Dimitri? Yep. So
No,
just
absolutely.
yeah. So what you guys, so like even planning. So if you see like you have a media application that you want to build, maybe you don't want to build it with Java. Maybe you want to build it with C sharp, right? C sharp is just as similar as Java. Similar as Java as you could go into its internals, like low level, right? So Java, C sharp, compiled languages, right? Even Go. Even Go is another language that everyone's using. That's like people say it's very simple to use, right? You could go low level and then you could do things to optimize, right, the system resources that it's using, right? So, but so that's one way, right? So that's one way before you even begin a project, you might say, all right, let's try to go with this solution instead of that solution, right? So just try to keep things low, and then I was gonna mention something. I think I lost my train of thought, but right. So essentially, all right. So that's Kubernetes, right? And then that's the application, and then right. But all right, I was gonna say one more thing. I lost my train of thought. It was probably about Python. All right, Node.js, right? So Node.js, right? Node.js, right? It's not a compiled language, right? But at the same time, the way that its very core foundation is set up, right? It's event driven, right? And now, like, as to why event driven is more performant, I'm not as sure. I'm not as sure, right? But correct me if I'm wrong, right? Things get to run in parallel. Things run truly in async, right? Um, right, which optimizes on server resources. So, right, these are some of these things, right, about APIs and frameworks you want to try to consider, right, before you start to write out an application, right? But ultimately, that's how application kind of comes together, right? The reason why we have Kubernetes is because sometimes the resources or sometimes the requirements that need to happen, like say for example, your server needs to perform an action, like video processing. Sometimes that action is so intensive, we just don't. Our technology is not good enough. Or AI. AI is a very resource intensive application, right? Using ChatGPT 4, right, in order to respond to you a prompt that's very resource intensive, and we still can't even run it on our computers, right? Why we have Kubernetes is because some actions like AI are just too resource intensive, right? And we're going to need Kubernetes to try to help us manage them. So until technology gets better. So, Steve, you're going to have a question?
Just a quick one. Like, is with React, because I'm learning React. Like, I'm practicing like the concepts in that. I was just wondering if React was a subset of Node, since you have to use like Node package manager to like start a project.
Yeah. So right, React is a subset of Node, but Node isn't a application framework, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Node. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's a way. It because all right. Long story short, Node is a way to write JavaScript for like non-web applications. JavaScript is a programming language that was designed to write websites, right?
Right.
Node.js takes that JavaScript. Now you can use that JavaScript to build command line applications, server applications, mobile applications, even.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, so you can write those kind of applications still using JavaScript, but it's not necessarily within like a web browser or web environment.
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that,
yeah, yeah. So
or I knew that, but I didn't realize that.
yeah, but right, like the common server equivalent, right, is going to be Express, right? It's going to be Nuxt, I believe. I think Next.js is like the front end. I'm not sure if Next.js is both, but I heard of Nuxt, right, being the yeah, I heard of Nuxt being used as a server side as well. So right,
Okay.
that'll be that server framework, right? Um, yeah. So and in addition, and I think more wanted to talk about, right? So I think with that, right, yeah, when it comes to choices, right, I want to pull up. So so Webpack. Yep, I want to pull, and then when it comes to Node, right, I think that's gonna lead me into like talking about Webpack, right? So when it comes to JavaScript environments, right, when you're like, okay, right, time to package. Because what I had to do over this week was that I had to learn Webpack and I had to use Webpack in order to create this library, and to create this library for rich text editors, right? So, has anyone worked with Webpack? Like, I mean, if you're working with React, right? It's not so much. I wouldn't expect that if you work with React, you would have to have used Webpack. But has anyone been in a situation where they were forced to learn Webpack and they had to
No.
figure it out? All right, good. Yeah, so like Webpack. So like, long story short, for like for Node for JavaScript applications, right? There's TypeScript, right? If you're coming front end, right? There's CSS, there's HTML, right? Right. Webpack is a bundler, right? Because in JavaScript, right, there's so much different things, right? You have import syntax in some places, right? If you're using Node, right, you're probably using require syntax. If you're using TypeScript, you're using import syntax, right? There's CSS, SCSS, right? And all these frameworks, when you build them to get pushed to production, right, Webpack, right, is what's used to bundle, right? Other languages like C# and Java, and Go even, right? What I believe is Java, they're compiled, right? So they kind of compile it to like one single file. At least for Java and C#, that's Java and Go. That's as far as I know. C#, I'm not so sure, right? But Webpack, right, in order to have your application run and be hosted somewhere, right, it kind of needs to be bundled, right? Java and Go, they put into a single file. Webpack, Node.js applications, right? They get built into somewhere that you deploy it, probably Netlify, probably Firebase, and Webpack is what's being used, right? So, you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. But I think what I want to do is that I wanted to show you what Webpack looks like. So if you're ever in a situation you had to learn about Webpack, like they say that Webpack is really difficult, right? And there's other things like Vite, Rollup, ES Build that are kind of better at it. But you know, Webpack's the one being used for years. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys what it looks like. Let's see here.
Share your screen. I don't know if you were talking in between.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I think I was silent for that. Yeah, I was silent for that part. Oh, I was silent for that part. Good. All right, good. Right. All right, sounds good. All right, and then let's just try to open this up here. All right, so I see Webpack dev. All right. So, okay. So basically, this is that library that I had to go ahead and write. So long story short is that we're using Quill, right? A rich text editor. I didn't plan for it. I didn't I just said, all right, here's a rich text editor. Let's just use it. Later down the line, we found that we want to put in emojis, but now the version of Quill that was available was 2.0, okay? And then the version that this plugin worked with was version 1.3.7, right? So now, all right, another thing, right, when you're trying to look at different packages you want to add, right? Usually you want to add packages that are the latest, that are up to date, right? So one thing you want to check, right, to ensure that is you want to check for Node applications, you want to try to check its package.json, right? And then you want to check, right, this here is a plugin, right, that goes into the Quill, right? It says Quill 2.0. You want to go ahead and check and see that this plugin that you're trying to use, right, is number one, like matching the version of the third-party software that you use it, and then number two is up to date. You might have a situation that the third-party software is using is like from like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but you want to make sure that at least, right, the framework, the software, or the plugin all matches up, right? So you don't have this issue, right? So this software is modern. It got released a few days back, but its plugin it wasn't like that, right? So we had to write Webpack. We had to first write Webpack, and we had to go in and modify it. We don't have to worry about modifying it, but we have to worry about Webpack, right? So Webpack, right? So essentially, all it is that there's these rules, right? And it kind of goes from top to bottom. It goes from top to bottom, as you see, and then in each of these use statements, it goes from bottom to top, right? So how Webpack works is that it wants a resource. It wants the final compiled resource at the beginning, and all the things used to translate it, it goes downwards. So in this application, we have us SCSS. This is what the authors of the library decided to use, right? So essentially what we need to do, we need to place it in this order, right? We needed to get a regex to get it to match the file extensions, okay? And then, right, we had to get to match the file extensions, and then provide these loaders, right, in order for this to compile to the CSS. And then when it compiles, it ends up in this directory. Okay, if you kind of look in here, right, what this looks like, right, when you're doing development, when you're doing application development, this is where your code's going to go, right? But when something's in production, it'll all get mashed up into like this, right? So whenever you're facing an issue, right, and you see something like this means it's mostly production code. It doesn't mean you can't fix it, but it means that what you call, right, that there's a development version of it somewhere, right? So has anyone had that situation where they're trying to use a debugger, a console log, and they end up with something looking like this?
Not really.
Okay.
No debugger's ever given me that, but I've never been familiar with JavaScript, so.
Yeah, no, like as you go along, you will let me try to see if I could pull up a little. Right, you might have it. All right, so let me try to see here. All right, let's go into the sources and let's try to use a debugger. All right, let me try to add a debugger to this code here, and then I just need to put it in the right spot. Debugger. All right, here we go. All right, then it should reload. Got an error. Okay, I know what that error is coming from, but alright. And then should it pick up? Is it okay? I think that's because alright. I chose the wrong field to put the debugger. Alright, let me should put it in a better spot. Try to see what I mean. Alright, here we go. Alright, good. And then will the call stack appear or no? Okay, because I set it to go straight through. Alright, now it should appear. Alright. So, we're going to look at the call stack here from this debugger. Right? And we see this, right? And then, right, let's just try to tell. You might have to use a debugger one day. Try to see what's going on for code. Maybe React, set state it's not working like it's working. We try to go through our code, right? So, right, this method right here. Does this look like something that we wrote? Or does it look like it's coming from production code?
Production code.
Okay. Oh, that yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I guess it's a lot. But let me show you it. So that's actually something that we wrote. But this is production. Okay, no, this is not compiling as well. Right. But alright, can you really tell? Alright, can you really tell? Alright, try to go here. Right, so this is, it's not coming from production code. I was expecting it to compile, but that's okay. I think let me try to. Yeah, there's a source map here. All right, not the best example. There's something called source map, and we'll just have to put this down for the time being. Right, is something known as a source map, but we're gonna drop the production example, but. All right, back to deploying your application, right? So when you deploy a Node.js application, it usually turns out to be like this, right? But in addition to that, we have something called source map, so that anytime you need to debug it, right, instead of seeing this in your console or in your debugger, right, you actually see the actual code that you were actually dealing with in the first place, which is more like which is more here even, which is easier to navigate than say for example this, right? So with Webpack, right, so you go ahead, you compile your CSS, you go ahead, add all your images, assets like PNG. They're all different types of images, but they could be any type of asset. And then you could go ahead and compile and shorten your turn your JavaScript code, TypeScript code into JavaScript. Okay, and then once you have that dist folder, right, then you push it out to production wherever it may be. This one actually went to npm, but as you can see here in Webpack prod, right, essentially what we have is that we have ways to optimize, right? So we see in this tertiary plugin, right, we see that there's compress, this passes. What this essentially means is that it actually tries to optimize your JavaScript code 2,000 times, right, before it says, okay, I'm done, right? And then we also have image minimizer, right? So you have images, right? So I think one thing that you guys may not know about application development, when you guys put in images, right, you grab the image and add it to your application, right? Sometimes you might not know it, but that image could just be over a megabyte. And for reference, right, a good web application should be about 500 kilobytes in size, right? And your image is already, and why your application might be slow is because you have an image and you never decided to optimize it, right? So if you look at the images here, and let's reveal this in our file explorer, right? We had Sheet Apple 64. This is what the library's authors were using. They were using about 6 megabytes, right? 6,000 kilobytes is 1,000 is 1 megabyte. So they're using about 7 megabytes. That's going to be bigger than any application, right? What you want to try to do is you can find an online tool. There's like command line tools to help you optimize. Webpack is another one, but you could also find an online tool to optimize that. So now you have the same image. Let's see what these look like side by side, right? So that's the 64. This is the 7 megabyte image, okay? Right, and then this is the optimized version. Let's see what that looks like. All right, smaller, but as you can see, it was for the emojis. Right. Okay, a little loss of definition. Let me try to see what the 16 looks like. Try to zoom in here. All right. It's a loss of definition, but in terms of the application, itself, all right, we try to pull this down. Okay, I opened up several of these files. Where did the application go? Yeah. In terms of the application itself, right? If you try to, you won't be able to notice it for the end user, right? The quality in these emojis, right? So some instances, right? So that's some things that you want to think about, right? When you write application code, you want to optimize how before you push it out to production, right? Webpack is one way how, right? And by having smaller images and using those tools, right, you can optimize your code, right? So, right, said a lot there, right? Anyone had any questions? The next thing we want to try to do is a little workshop.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that going based off of that, like one way for you to, because at times you might not even know what you're looking for, right? In ways to optimize your application. There's a plugin for Chrome that is called Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And you can just run it and it'll tell you ways that you can optimize your web application and that sort of thing. It'll tell you if your images are not optimized so you have it pulled up there. You just kind of run it and it'll tell you what's wrong and how to fix it.
Yeah, can't read properties. All right, let me silence that automation for a second, and let's try to see the difference between dev and production, at least for a web application. Right. So this is the localhost. Right. It's complex things going on here with the URL, but believe this that this is localhost. So this is my dev application, and then this is the production application. Let's run Lighthouse on both of them and try to see. Alright, so let's use desktop, and then let's use desktop here as well. Lighthouse. Let's try to see. Looks like production ran into. Okay, yeah, this is the same website. Here we go. Yeah, site's offline. Alright, won't be able to test that right now. Let me go to its preview site. I think the preview site's going to take some time to need the password. Demos aren't the best today. Hold on. Alright, let's try to play. And now let's try to analyze this page load. Let's see what we get. IndexedDB, it's complaining about that. Alright, let's try to run it one more time. In addition to Lighthouse is another Chrome extension. DevTools. Okay, I don't think I can run them at the same time. Alright, so we're gonna let our preview application. So our preview application, right, that's is just the same as production. Right, and we have preview applications because before we release it to our customers to use, we want to see how things work as close to the production environment as possible. So preview applications up. Let's see what's almost there. Alright, so that's great. So this is our production application. This is what Fight. So the tool I showed you was Webpack. We had to use Webpack for that one, but you know, this is what Vite was able to do. Great score. All right, now let's run this. All right, here we go. Let's see if we do any better. All right, yeah, the performance went down. Right, like you can't tell to the eye. Right, you can't tell to the eye. But when you have to deploy your application to AWS or wherever you have to go for cloud, right? You know, this will definitely make a difference, right? This application's running on Firebase, right? So, application coming from the Firebase server, well, along with the performance that Vite added to it, right, is now doing better than an application than the application run on my own computer. Right? Can you believe that, guys? So, in terms of performance, right? So, you know, there's many things you could do to, you know, optimize your application when it's running like Kubernetes. But using tools like Webpack, also thinking about what your code is doing like tools that you could use in your application or in the application code itself to optimize things, right? That is what is going to help you. And then, yeah, just to check, no, these aren't images, but I want to check the size of this image and whether it's optimized or not. I know this one is coming from my application. Want to check its size? There's a way I could check its size. File size 49.5. I don't think I optimized this image. 49.5 is small, but should I see here? Yeah, it's going to be 49.5. But yeah, that image wasn't optimized, right? But in production, right, that's one way you could say, okay, I could go ahead and optimize this image before I get it out there with what we saw earlier. So, alright, good. Alright, very good. Alright, so I think what I want to do now is, what I want to do is I want to open it up, right? Any questions before? What I want to do is if anyone has a project, an application, or code that they're having issues with, we want to go ahead, share a screen, try to work on it together. But before we do that, any questions?
None at all for me.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So there is that. And then I think. All right. I'm letting you know if anyone saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so there's that, and then also our link tree, or our organization's link tree as well, right? So you can join there, and as well as support us on our link tree as well, right? If you like, and then hopefully have additional content. Even this recording is going to go up, right? Once we're done, so we'll make sure that everyone has time, and then what we'll do is that we'll try to do a little workshop. Try to, if anyone has a coding issue that they might be dealing with, we'll try to help try to solve it here.
It says I can't log in with my Google account. That's kind of weird.
All right, let me get a new Slack invite. Yeah, that happens.
Sorry, Lee. Can you post the Slack again?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it again. I'm gonna get a new invite.
Okay.
What about the link tree? Everyone have access to the link tree? Or like, can you what industry? What type of product is it? A media application? Is it a health application? What type of application is it?
So what is it? Like I said, I work in healthcare, so I work in a hospital. So what is it? One of I saw one of the employees like doing something, and it just so happened that they were like writing this thing on like pen and paper, right? Even though we absolutely do everything on the computer, right?
Yeah.
But this is just the one thing that they do on paper. And like I was just curious, and I asked, and she's like, yeah, this makes no sense why we do this, because a lot of the information that they're like writing down is information that's already on the system that we use on the computer, right? And then I went ahead and I asked them, like, so what do you do with all this paper? And they're like, oh, well, they just save it and file it, and then they got to keep it for like I think it was for like 10 years. So like this is a large organization, so it's like, imagine the amount of like paper that they're just storing somewhere that could just as easily be saved on a database which they're already using. So yeah, I was just like thinking about if there was some way I can like do this thing, so they maybe I can just run it by my manager or something, and then they can just try to like implement it or something. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. So let's try to think about some of the things, right? Right. So free along with I'm trying to think about this on the AWS standpoint, such an application, right? Have you heard of AWS Cognito? They, I mean not Cognito. Yeah, no, it's Cognito. Yeah, Cognito. Yeah, AWS Cognito. Have you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
an application. So I think you and me try to see what tools that Roberto is going to need, right, to build such an application. I still wanna.
That'd be cool.
Shoot. Okay. Very well. I still wanna show you guys some application code from the Flask API we're using. I like using Flask because it's simple, but right. So AWS Cognito, that's for users, right? That's for users. Like Roberto, will there be users, right? Uploading files to be saved, or it's just admins?
so it wouldn't be necessarily users.
Okay.
I mean, you can say user as the employee using it, but this is not something that like a customer would be looking at, right? This is just more of an information for like the company to be stored on online or whatever, as opposed to you just having plain paper in a file room somewhere.
Okay, so like, how's it? But who? All right, so all right, yeah. So user not in the customer sense, right? It's an internal application, right?
Yeah.
How's the How? All right, who? All right, so before this application, is it just one person? Is it just a department like grabbing all these files and storing them?
Yeah, so it's just one person. Well, it would be three people throughout a whole day, right? So it's like a whole day worth of information that gets written down, and then I guess at the end of the day it gets filed somewhere um, to be kept for like 10 years, right? Now
Okay.
this information is not being stored online in any way, shape, or form, right? So if let's say somebody, it's like, okay, but we need this information, right? Somebody will have to physically go into a file room and go through each one of these papers and find the one specific one they're looking for that specific date. So, like as it stands, it's like that sounds ridiculous, right? Especially for like this day and age, you can just simply type into a search bar and something would just um, appear to you in like seconds, right?
Okay. So, right. All right. Let's. All right. So what I want to say is that you do need Cognito for this because there's also not customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You just can't have someone who's not an employee or someone who's not in that department or someone who doesn't have that admin access, right? Just go in and use the application, right? So there has to
Exactly.
be a
Yeah.
login feature, right? Not
Yeah.
that it's for customers, but it just has to be a login sake, and then people have to have the right credentials, right? You
Yeah.
know, so
Because
there's an
as is, yeah, as it stands, like for you to be able to have access to this, you have to log into the computer. So once you're logged into the computer, only one person can be logged in, right? And this person has access to all of their applications that they use. So if let's say me being a healthcare employee, a part of this company, I don't do that is not part of my role, right? So I wouldn't have access to use it. So it's already kind of role based. Um, Kind of like that person wouldn't have access to what I have access to, right? Like certain patient information, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just like I already like have an image of like the form that they fill out. So I have pretty good idea of like everything that they need to um like fill the information with. So obviously, like you said, it would have a login feature, as in, this person, so we know who's filling out the information, and it would obviously be saved at the end of the day or um, when everything is already done for that particular day.
okay. So for the user, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, yeah, I would say that having a separate login system, right, separate from your these employees' login credentials, right, for simplicity's sake, right, would be easier to integrate than to try to integrate with the existing login system already there, right? If you try to do that, there's compliance, right? There's probably legacy technology, right? I'm not sure if hospitals are. I know MyChart's one thing, but it's probably, if you look at the technology being used, it was probably more ancient, right? Right. You don't want to try to integrate with such a system. You want to bring in a new system, right? For that, right? So even so, right? Because integrating with that integrating a login system, right? It can have its complexities. It might be something you might miss. There might not be understanding of how the system works, right? If you have like even right, to use it, right? You want to see like, okay, what is this? Where is their login system in the first place? Is there anyone I could talk to about it, or is there any documentation? If the documentation's not really there, then you want to put in a new system, right? So that even if the off chance you are able to set it up, right, someone doesn't accidentally log into that application, into that storage application. All right, so you know that's what I'm thinking. Is when it comes to storage now, right? Storing it, right? Free. What do we use for storing files in AWS?
Wait, sorry. What's for
You mean
storing
like
files?
Yeah.
relational
What's it?
databases?
Yeah. No, that's storing data, but or for files.
Oh, okay.
Um, they use.
Yeah. Even don't worry. Even I forgot. I'm trying to think of it right now. But
Let's see. Do you mean like code commit maybe?
yeah. See. Yeah, so I think that's for DevOps. So, all right. So I think S3,
Yeah.
is that right?
Oh yeah, like the buckets.
Yeah. 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 So
Yeah,
S3.
yeah, they use
S3.
S3. Hmm.
Right. So, right, and then what type of storage?
That's usually object storage.
Yeah. No, but like for what he's describing, like these files need to be stored on the system for about 10 years. Okay,
Oh,
and
that's Glacier. Then you want to do Glacier?
how often are these files retrieved, Roberto?
Yeah, that I don't know because the person that I spoke with that fills out this paper, right? She just pretty much said, yeah, this is pointless. We just fill this out and then it gets filed in a file room or where we keep it for like that 10 years. Like as to who, let's say it goes and like says, oh, it's been 10 years, these files they just get tossed out or shredded or whatever. I'm not entirely sure.
And when does it get retrieved? Does someone say, "Hey, I need that file from 7 years back," or like how often does someone go in there to get a file?
Yeah, so I don't have the answer to that question. I like I said, I didn't even ask this question because it was just something that I saw yesterday, and I just kind of went through my head, and like I said, just like an idea face kind of thing. Like all
Yeah,
these
but
questions, yeah.
yeah. No, all it's just is an exercise, workshop exercise, just to think
Hmm.
about what are the things that you think about. If you're ever in a situation where you need to store files, right? The file solutions out there, right?
Yeah.
They're going to ask you how long, and how long do you want to store the file, and how much is it going to be accessed, right? So,
Okay.
right in our application, right, we the draft the previous version of like the description when someone like edits a thumbnail, right, we actually save it on the Google Drive. So now storage is down to 0 because the user, which is our customer in that case, right, we're using their storage service, right, to store their data, right. So now pressure's on the user, right, to keep it empty, right, so that they can keep using our service. But for your situation, right, this is to the company, and the company is going to have a lot of money, right? But like late once you become the tech lead later down the line, right? Let's hope sooner than later, right? There's going to be costs coming into it, right? And right, all right, you have to store it for 10 years, right? How can the data be retrieved? If it could be retrieved once, if you go in there one file a month, then Glacier. But if it has to be retrieved often, free. Is that right to use Glacier if you have a file that could be stored 10 years, but you need to access it often? Or do you have to change something about that? I think free, you're on mute. Right. So say you had a file that you had to keep for 10 years, but you had to access it
Hmm.
often. Would you still use Glacier, or would you use something else?
There's a different it's it's like a flexible type of way. I forget what's the name of it. It's like a flexible. It's like in between Glacier and the one that and the version that you use often, but it's like flexible. Shucks, what is that name? Let me look for it. Hold on.
Will be something that will reduce the cost of. of it being saved, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, not quite, right? So that's what I'm trying to get at is that basically that's how storage is priced. It's not
Okay.
priced on how long you kept it. It's priced on how many times you access it, right? So you might be going to the
Exactly.
project,
Yeah.
yeah, thinking like, all right, 10 years. It's like, oh, the price is not working like that. How the pricing is working is how much is it frequently accessed, and if you don't know that, right, and you're speaking with like the stakeholder, and then you're speaking with the project stakeholder. Not that I know too. From what I remember, project stakeholder, right? That all right, and they're asking you, hey, how much it cost, right? And you go and you look at their documentation, and it's like there's nothing about keep it, how long you keep it. It's about how much it's accessed, right? In that meeting, right? You might come flat-footed because, right, you didn't get that metric, right? So some things you might go in, you might expect a third-party library to like price you or to have like these level of features, but then there's a different level of features that you didn't know about, and that's why you had to go in there early and find out before you even try to use it, right? Because, right, it's not, because in this situation it's not predicated on how long it is. It's predicated on not that it's always going to be like that, but you have to know when you use a software, like what are its pros and cons. Like, yeah, the software is used for like storing stuff, but like with as you go further along in your journey, it's just so many details. Like the software engineering world is just full of details, and if you don't know about certain details, you might be 3 months into a project and then you run into like a roadblocker. So that's what I'm trying to point out, that you want to like try to see these, and that's what the I think clean code, I mean code complete book is going to try to point out to you. It's like they call it the SDLC, but I think there's something called even before that, but it's like the planning stage. But that's the thing about planning that you want to try to that will get you. All right, and then even for another one, right? Now, how is the user, right, which is the employee in this case, going to get those files into file storage to be saved into your application? Hey, Roberto, are you? Yeah, Roberto, are you?
Yeah. Like off the top of my head, like I'm not entirely sure because um like it would, like I understand, like it would be something that it's pretty much like, let's say, would be saved like at the end of the day sort of thing. But obviously as the day goes by and you're like saving some of this data, it needs to be um like obviously stored somewhere. So in case of any sort of failure or something, like you don't end up with like data that wasn't saved to the database, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely. Yep.
so like you said, it goes back to how often are you writing to the actual database and the cost that may be associated with it, right?
Right, but how do you even get the file onto the computer in the first place? That's what we're talking about now. We understand about the writing, but how do you even get the
Mm-hmm.
file there in the first place? Right, right. So what we have to do, right, is so Dropbox, right? Was anyone thinking of Dropbox? Because
No.
Dropbox doesn't have a feature, right? Anyone? So the keyword is Dropbox. Does anyone know what feature on Dropbox I'm talking about? Steve, Dimitri?
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, Dropbox. I was to get files onto the computer. I said a keyword Dropbox. Right? Does anyone know what feature I'm talking about with Dropbox?
Um, no, I mean you just kind of upload. What do
Yeah, I'm
you?
not sure of what any features on Dropbox. like besides like just sharing a file through like a central server?
Yeah, yeah. So in addition to, so the feature was talking about scanning, right? So Dropbox has a scan feature, okay, where you could go scan, right? So like probably your coworker, you're probably your the people using the application, right? You have to probably think about which is more convenient for them, right? Do they like to use a print and scan, right? Do they want to use a scanner? I mean, you probably in that conversation you'll probably say, all right, the file has to be scanned, right? But I don't know how many documents we're talking about, right? If we're uploading 1,000 of documents, they all need to be scanned and uploaded, right? It depends. It all depends. Maybe, they just like it how it is, right? Going into the files instead of like, all right, in addition to like filing, they have to just scan it. They have to scan everything, making their day longer, right? There's also right. So Dropbox has a feature where you can scan, right? Right. So that'll be a library. So now, right, this application, right, might have to be a mobile app, right? In order for it to scan, because this drop, you can't really scan from your computer, but you could. There's webcam, but it's more convenient if you scan with your phone.
Yeah.
Right. So now you have to find, Roberto, which of these libraries is the best at it, right? So like there's scanning technology out there, right? There's probably, do we want to pay for it? So we're looking for it. Is there one in a situation where we have to pay? Well, I haven't used it. I haven't had to have I? Yeah, so there's OCR technology which you have to pay for. When you scan something, you could take a picture of something and then you send it to OCR service or OCR third party that you install, and then you might have to pay for it. There's other tools where you could just scan it outright and it saves it as a document. Well, in this case, you just want to scan the document. You're not trying to read the data off of it. So there's that, right? There's OCR if it's more sophisticated, or you could just scan it from the scan machine and then save it and then try to upload it that way, right? So, right, we'll be research about that. And then there's one more that I wanted to right, so that's the upload feature. And then I think there's one more feature that I wanted to talk about, which is I think it was saving. There was another feature there, but yeah, it was a lookup. It was lookup. So say for example, you have to look up a file, right? Right, we'll have to use a database. Right now, Free, would you use which database? Did you use RDS or did you use Dynamo for this type of lookup? Yeah, and then I think RDS is SQL, and then hey, just mistake me. Thanks for checking the chat, Roberto. RDS, right? RDS, right, and that's database, right? So basically, as you upload a file, right, the file itself is going to go into S3, which is file storage, right? But the information about the file, right, that's going to have to go into the database, right? So this is where the OCR situation comes in. Right, because if you just upload a document, you don't pull the information out of the document, right? Then these users, right, they have to sit there and type that information, probably like title, other additional features that, but if you use the OCR, it's something you have to pay for, right? It's something you have to pay for. It's either something you have to pay for, OCR. I forgot what it stands for, but it's OCR. That's the technology. NanoNets is one of them. There's others out there, but OCR. Right. In addition to that, it's either you have to pay for it or you have to write your own library. And this is where Python comes in. Because even though Python, they say it's the slowest, right? That might not be in the future, number one. And then number two, it's the most feature heavy. It's the most feature heavy out of all the applications when it comes to third-party code, right? For like Java, for C#, you're going to have to write, for C++ even, you're going to have to write your own. Python's built on C++, right? So, Python's built on C++, not C#, C++, right? Even so, right, there's many libraries out there. Although complex, I mean, it depends. You have to see how easy it is to implement your own OCR, right? But it's still doable. And then I even like to say that AI technology that you integrate with is written with Python, right? The framework that OpenAI running in, there's two of them. There's a Tensor. I forgot the second one already. I forget a lot of things. Sorry, guys. But there's TensorFlow. And
You're good.
TensorFlow is a AI framework. Thanks. Yeah, and then TensorFlow is an AI framework written in Python. Okay, right? So this is why I use Python, right? Because people say it's resources intensive, but I think there's a more like you have to do your work, because Java and C Sharp, as far as I believe, they're old frameworks, especially Spring Boot, and probably some people in these larger corporations rather keep things Java and Spring Boot than make that move, right, to Go, or to Python, right? But even though Python is true, because there's something called the GIL, right? When it comes to features, it's very feature rich application, right? So you want to see that even if Node is just right there too. You want to see if if you're able to write your own in Node, if you want to cut on costs, right? Try to see if there's a library out there, right? But if not, do you want to write your own, cut on cost, or what do you want to do? Because say, for example, now you're going along in this project, you use Node.js, right? And now you have to implement the scanner, and the employees don't want to have to enter all that information for the 1,000 files they have to input, right? It's either, can we accept files in batches, or can we write the scanner in Node? Do we pay for it? Or we're going to have a second Python server, and our Node.js primary server is going to be Kubernetes, right? Because now you have a server just for logging in and for general requests. But now where Kubernetes plays a role is now that you have a second Python server just for scanning and doing the OCR work to get all the file in the information into the database, right? So when it comes, so in the application like that, even though the task is, okay, just take a file and upload it, right? You definitely want to see for yourself if you could at least try to break it down to its little parts, right? At least get that file onto the computer, right? At least get it there, and then get it there in a convenient manner, and then get it onto the database, right? Those individual parts you want to try to do one by one before you could say, even anything, and I think really, the lesson here that I said a million times already, I'm sorry guys, but any application, because I thought this media application was going to be simple, but it turns out it's not. You always want to try to.
It sounds crazy the more you talk about it.
Yeah, no, because for scanning, hopefully you just have to see the goal is, right, the best thing that you want is yes, the library's out there, plug and play. That's how we want life to be, plug and play, and then we're done. But it doesn't always turn out like that when we write an application. So any application you think of writing, right, you want to just really break down okay, what does it take to do it? And then every third-party library you need, try to see if that will do the trick, right, before you try to tackle the application, right? If it doesn't work out, at least you have a lot of YouTube videos to make and post, and tutorials to put on Medium, right, to add to your portfolio. But if it does work, right, then just pull all that code together, you have an application. So that's and it's probably even more. But reading books like Code Complete, Clean Code, they're going to give you more of these ideas. All right, before you get into this project, what does it mean? So yeah, and then
yeah, for sure.
So Dimitri, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So did you add any application code that you wanted to do a little workshop on? That's how we're going to end. Try to do. You had any code that you want to share with us?
Yeah. Give me a second here.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
Wait, how do I share my screen?
Yeah, there should be a share button. The third button. a third channel.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Yeah, serious.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Get
you,
Whoa, what the hell? Do you see it?
yeah, I see the screen. Yeah, it's the.
Okay. So hang on. Um. Okay. And okay. Let me just, because I'm trying to. Okay. Sorry about that. So what I had to do for my project, like my assessment here, are you seeing this?
Yeah, I see it.
What was that?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Yeah, so I have to make a solar farm application. Um, Basically, like these are the requirements: display all solar panels, add a solar panel to the fan. It's like partially complete. I just need to kind of like um, get started on like these, like update a solar panel, remove a solar panel, um, implement manual dependency in the apps class main method, implement the CRUD operation. I think it's create, update, delete, and I think R is remove,
Read. Yeah.
and implement unit tests for the update. This is a necessary order list. And then delete the CRUD operation. Again, scan the project to find what might be useful. Implement tests for the delete operation. So here's here's the actual like solar panel file. Let me open this. So what I know, they also mentioned that there's a bug in this where uh if you try to edit panel 250, it'll there's some kind of bug there, but I just wanted to like get an idea of how I should like get started with this. Um but yeah, I think where I should start is with the test here, because um or should I get started with like
Yeah.
uh
Okay. Yeah. I know I was my cue, but yeah, no. Right. So before you even get Steve, you understood everything I was talking about the file upload application talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, I understood.
Okay. Good. All right. So yeah. So basically, this is like. All right. So this is not Spring Boot, but if you saw in app.java, there's like application.run, right? Which is basically how you run, how you start the Spring Boot application. Right. So create, read, update, delete. That's what CRUD stands for. All right. So right. So from what I understand, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Dimitri. It's create a solar panel, update the solar panel, read the solar panel, and then delete it. Right.
yeah.
Okay. So all right. So in Java, right. So all right. So let's see our. Okay. So where's this solar, where's the list of solar panels being stored in a database or a array list?
I would say it's a database because we're not doing text file. Well, that's the thing. I'm not even 100% sure. It might be.
Okay.
It might be in a. It might be in a database, but
Yeah.
again, I'm not.
Right. So basically, yeah. So this is like a typical API application development, right? So
Mhm.
so in a Java application, right, everything has like a reason, right, to like be there, right there, to really be there, right. Now Java, I'm not too familiar how it works, right, but your repository, would you say repository, like the database is
Mhm.
just like, it's a concept, right? So it's Java, everything is just concepts. It's not like it's really a database. It's just a
Mhm.
concept. Okay? When you have repository or service, right? And I don't see a controller, so all right. When you have a repository or service, we're gonna have to check both.
Okay.
They usually mean like, okay, this is where these 4 operations happen, right? Create, read, update, delete. So basically, a create, that CRUD that you're saying, all those 4, right? That's like updating that source, right? It could happen. Can you open the repository? Let's see, because that
The solar
yeah
panel or solar panel file.
yeah. Let's see. Okay, so your goal is in a solar panel file. Okay, go to solar panel file. Let's see. Okay, solar panel file repository, right? And there's a lot of extra things going on right now, but Java is just a lot of concepts, right? And
Okay.
don't worry. Even though they're just throwing a lot, it's just like the concept of create what I have to do. All right, so can you collapse all these? Let's see the methods on this solar panel file.
Yeah, I think it's stored in an array list because I'm seeing it
Collapse,
now.
collapse the methods. Yeah, no, I see you see that, but just collapse all the methods. Yeah, collapse. Yeah, you can't do them all at once.
Can't do all what?
Can you do them all at once or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, right, lights a file. Okay, yeah, scroll up. Okay, say find my section, find my key. Yeah. All right, and that's right
Sorry,
here.
what was it?
Okay, cool. So, did you add a second file here? Solar, or did it start out with solar panel file and then solar panel?
It started out like that.
Okay. Okay. Can you expand solar panel create line 41?
41.
So, okay. So list these. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like it's not calling. Right. So usually, all right. So what this means is like, all right, and then basically, from what I understand, right, it's a concept, but there's create, read, update, delete, but in Java, they just want things done a certain way. So essentially, what they would want is that solar panel repository, it's going to call. Yeah, it's gonna. Wait, did the create start like that? Did the create
Start
this
like what?
create like did you edit this create method or no?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, essentially, right. I don't know if it wants you to update the create method. But essentially, right, solar panel file implements solar panel, right? What that would mean is that it's going to call the create method on that base class, right? So, actually, no, I'm sorry. It implements, all right, it's not a class. All right, it's an interface. All right, I see, it's an interface. All right, yeah, so, all right, good. It's not a class. All right, good, this is very good. All right, so basically, all right, so solar panel repository, that's the interface. Like an interface just tells a class how it should be. Right? So let's go to solar panel repository. So basically those are all the types. So basically it's like it just helps with like when your application gets huge to at least know what it does. Right? So find by section is basically saying that this method takes a string, okay, and then it returns a list of solar panels, okay, or it throws a data exception. So whatever your function is doing in solar panel file, right, this should be called interface, like it is what it is, but in solar panel file, it's going to do that. It's going to either return a list of solar panels or it's going to throw a data access exception. Do you understand that?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, you've basically explained this. List solar panel, find by section, or throw data access exception right here. So yeah, I mean, I see that's what it's gonna do, but so I
You'll do the
so
same thing now, right? So now you find that, so you say add an update method, right? You just say, okay. you implement that, right? So update method, right? What properties? So like, all right, let's do delete method first, right? Because update, we want to know what properties, right? So what do you need in order to delete a solar panel?
Well, let me put this in comments I need to find which solar panel to delete, right?
Yeah.
And then also, I guess it would be confirm that it's been deleted, right?
All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's one way to do it. Yeah, that's one way to think of it. Um, right. But let's at least get the solar panel to delete, right? So,
Okay.
is there anything that's identifying one solar panel from another?
Yeah, so like
The key.
key, yeah, find by key,
Yeah.
integer row, integer column. So, find which solar panel to delete.
Right. So, all right.
And I guess, oh, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Can you show me where the solar panels are being stored? Just show me where that is.
Okay, well, that's the thing. I'm not even sure where they're being stored. I think it's,
Because you said it was a array list, but let's go to the file responsible. No, it's going to be your application code, not where they actually are, right? The concept.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You mean application, like, because I don't know if I have to create where they're going to be stored or I'm not sure
All right,
about
let's
that.
go to app.java. Let's go to app.java.
Okay.
All right. So, path to your data, file.txt. All right. Good. Right, path to your data, file.txt. All right. You see that online? You see that on line 7?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that it's just think of the concept, right? So, all right, it could be there. Right. Let's go back to your homework and let's try to see if you can see what that file looks like in your homework.
Assessment, and then um so I think that would be here in models solar panel. That's where they're
No, I want to see the actual file itself. No, that's just one solar panel. I need to see the list of solar file panels.
well, that's the thing. I'm not sure where that would be.
What does your
Would that
homework
be
say? No, when
uh
you show us that, yeah. Because if
it
not, then
said
we'll create our own.
well,
Right.
I mean that's the thing. I'm not even sure where like
All right, keep scrolling. And so
scroll
something.
up.
Scroll down until you see something telling you, all right, these are where you get the solar farms from. Okay.
I guess data must be
Data
stored in a
must.
D.
Okay, so there's no file to begin with. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. So, yeah. So that's how it has to store. So basically, right. They didn't teach you how to install Maven packages, right? And all
Yeah,
that.
they did.
Oh, they did. All right. Good. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So I think this is gonna be tough. I think it's tough for you because you're not seeing how the files getting stored. But have you heard of CSV?
It sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is.
All right, so common separated value. So basically, right, so basically when you store your data, it's going to be like in a comma. So each row is going to be like each entry. So say you have like a solar panel, right? Solar
Mhm.
panel A, right? The row is going to be like, okay, so like each property in there. Let's actually pull up the CSV. I'm gonna share my screen. go ahead, share my screen here. Okay, actually, you know what? Screw it. Go to ChatGPT. Go to ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Ask
Okay.
ChatGPT to make a CSV of solar panels. No, just ask it to make it. Not how to. Just ask it to
Oh,
make
okay.
it. Make a CSV of solar panels. Okay. So you see that? All right. So yeah. So see. All right. Let's go here. All right. So that's what a CSV is going to look like. This is one way to store data. Right.
Okay.
Right. So you see the first row is the column information. Right. The name, manufacturer, type, power. And then each row after that is going to be the information about one solar panel.
Okay.
That you're going to pull, and then you're going to put it into an array.
Okay, I got it. But I mean,
okay. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm not going to use this to like make the code, right? I would have to find out with this.
No, you have to decide what your file is going to look like, right? Because they're not giving you a file. You need to know how your file is going to look like, right? So, because that solar panel model is going to be based on the columns coming from the file that you're going to make, right? So your solar panel model, let's go to the solar panel model in your code.
And solar panel model, so it's
right. So it's going to have the property. All right. So right now it just has methods. All right. Can you scroll up? Let's see if there's any properties on it. Yeah. Okay. You see all that? So basically,
yes.
Yeah. So those are the properties, right? ID, section, row, column, year installed, material, and is tracking. What I want you to do, I want you to take those properties and now ask ChatGPT to make a file, that same CSV file based on those properties.
Okay.
And then guys, I think that's going to be our goal, right? That's going to be our goal, and then we'll try to wrap up from there.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you forgot to hit the stop button.
Yeah, I pressed introduce. I was trying to like get to the next line, but okay.
All right, so Free, Steve, Roberto, understand what's going on so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of this stuff look like?
So it's basically, it looks like basically like SQL. Like you're just updating like a SQL database.
Yeah, before we actually had databases, actually I don't know, but you know, CSV is actually one of the more primitive ways of storing of a database, right? One thing I do know is that your Excel files, they're really CSV files, right? With extra.
Oh, okay.
Like extra formatting.
Yeah.
Okay, this makes a lot more sense to me now.
Right. So let's now. So now we're going to copy that code, right? And now we're going to we're going to copy that code and add it to a file, right, in your Java application. And it's going to have to. So let's call it data.csv. No, in a new file. In a new file, data.csv. Not in a Java file. It's going to be in a new file. This is a CSV file in your Java application.
Okay, well, I mean, how do I? Because I don't think we've learned about CSV files here, so I'm not sure how to.
Okay, you just make a new text file. See file? Yeah, file. Call it data.csv. Okay. Cancel.
Yeah.
Okay, but it said data.csv. You want to add that. So basically, it told you, right, that there's another CSV file in your application. In your folder. Can you open the folder on Explorer?
And
in the solar file. Okay, never mind. Let's go back. Yeah, let's go there. All right, so now you want to save that data.csv file into like the data folder. You see the data folder?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so save it there.
How do I just
Oh, Control
move it to
S.
the
Yeah, Control S.
Control S
Yeah,
and
Control.
then
No, yeah, not that data folder. You see the data folder above source?
oh, there we go.
Okay, yeah, so in here, right, I see that there's files already. Can you click on them? Solar farm, see what's in there? Okay, so I'll see in. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, no, you know what, that's fine. We'll just save that data CSV file into there.
Into
That data folder, yeah.
okay, so do I just move it there or
Oh, you don't know how to save in IntelliJ?
no?
Oh, Control Shift S on the file.
Control Shift. Okay. Control Shift S.
Yeah, click on
And
the
then
file. No, click on the editor. Click on the file in the editor. Click on the file in the edit. No, not that's the file explorer, the editor. Yeah, Control Shift S. No, data CSV.
so okay.
Click on. Yep. Now Control Shift S.
Control Shift S and then
That's not coming up. Oh, okay. All right. So it says it's in. Okay, open up the file explorer. Do you know how to open up the file explorer from here or no?
no. Do I
Open.
open?
Yeah. Where's it? I don't know how to use IntelliJ. All right. I don't know use IntelliJ. All right. Can you look up how to ask ChatGPT how to save a move a file to ask ChatGPT?
Open project view, looking phone, drag and drop. Confirm move, refactor if necessary. Okay. So it says open project view and then locate the file and then drag and drop it. So I guess I'm in project view right now. And
All
no,
right.
I mean, do I?
Yeah. Let's try to do it a different way. Can you can you right click on data.csv?
Yeah, I don't see it. Okay.
Yeah, right click.
Right click.
Okay, open in. Can you scroll to open in? Explore. All right, good. Drag data.csv into data. No, in the Explorer. You see the Explorer? Go back to
What?
go back to your Windows File Explorer.
Yeah, and
go
then
back to
drag.
All right, drop it. Drop it. All right, good. All right, good. All right, good. Can you hit backspace on line 12? Because sometimes CSVs.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, good. All right, so good. That's your file. All right, so now you have to load that CSV into your Java application.
Okay, and how exactly load it into?
Right. So you go to app.java, right?
Okay, and then
Right. So yeah, expand the screen. Yeah. Right. So basically, from here, right, it's going to take that. It's going to take the path, and it's going to put it into that repository, right? It's saying path to your. So now replace that path with the path of data.csv.
path. Where do you see that?
Oh wait, do you know what a path is?
Well, no, just remind me.
It's where your files. It's where your file is located on your computer, right? So if you
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so yeah, I know. So this, right?
yeah, so that's the path to app.java. You need to replace the path on line 7 with the path to data.csv.
Okay.
Right. Free Roberto, you guys know what path means? Free, and I know you know Roberto. Steve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I think Free might be in the chat. Okay, sorry. Free. Yeah, she knows. All right, good. Right, and then one way to do it on Dimitri is to right click on data.csv and see if they allow you to copy the path.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then put this in the
Yep.
parentheses here.
Yeah. Nice. All right, good. Right, absolute path, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. So, okay, so that's where solar panel file repository is. So now let's go to solar panel file repository is, because that's just creating the repository class. It's not loading the file into solar panel file, right? Remember the app.java. See, this is why I confuse it. This concept, you gotta pay closer. Go back to app.java.
Java.
Okay, so what? Look closely at the name, not the path. The name of the.
It's app.java.
No, line 7. The line of the class.
Oh, solar panel repository equals solar panel file. Okay, that's
the file you gotta go to.
All right, so I got to go to solar panel file, right? Repository.
Yeah. Remember, solar panel is an interface. The interface just tells you how a class should look. It doesn't do anything. All right, so let's look for the constructor. All right. So the constructor says this dot file path equals file path. Yeah. So what I saw earlier was that there's a different set of files, right? But I think just to load the file, I think that's what we're going to try to do. Once you see that you could load the file and you could get the data, I think that then it will help you understand how to do the assignment. All right. So it says this dot file path equal file path, right? Right. Is there any method in here that's going to show you how to load a file or no? Look at all the methods. Are there any methods that show you how to load? Let's go find by section.
I was just about to say find by section and then throws data access exception. So we go to data access exception, right?
No, exception is an error. That's not loading a file. Right, think about it. Is loading a file throwing an error?
No.
Yeah, expand the file, expand the function. Right? So array list results. So yeah, anything in this method about loading files?
No.
All right, next one.
Okay. Find by key. I don't think that's going to do it either, right? Would it be create?
Are you loading a file in here? Don't guess. Look at the code and see if you see anything related to loading a file.
No. I don't see anything that would stand out.
Okay.
About loading the file.
Yeah, so it's next. Right? So this is software development. If you don't see what you're looking for, next.
Okay. No. I think that's it.
Can you go back one? Did you read the whole function?
Array list solar panel result equals try buffered reading.
Yeah, you skipped. Yeah, it looks like you skipped. Read the whole line. Go back to line 56. Read the whole line.
Try buffered reader equals new buffered reader, new file reader, file path. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, see, so that's a habit. Yeah, that's a habit you got to get out of. So I know that in other, like when you're in school, like you don't have to read everything. In computer science, you have to have a no stone unturned. Like I think what will happen is that as you go, it's with experience. Before computer science, what did you used to do?
Sales, business development.
And you know when a client feels tired, that you should try to wrap up the call. It's like, hey, I have a meeting in 3 minutes. You
Mhm.
don't like you like with experience. Experience tells you that, hey,
Yeah,
you know,
you could
yeah,
tell.
So the reason I was able to not miss it was because like when I see the word buffered, like I saw that you saw the word reader to tell you, but I saw
Mhm.
buffered reader. I know a buffer is what a file turns into when an API needs to read it. So, but with experience, right? But before that, you want to try to read the whole line. You want to try to read the whole line. So
Okay.
yeah, so now with this method, I think that's going to be our goal, right? All right. So that's going to be our goal. That's that find all method. All right. That's going to be that find all method,
Okay.
right? And then it says line 58 is line to solar panel. Okay. So but essentially what I want to do, because I don't like it there. You see in line, it's in the method. So once you need to call another method, then you don't have access to your solar panels. On line 55, yeah, you want it out of there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that method alone, right? It's called open close principle. So you don't want to modify what's already there. You just want to extend it. Okay. So in this case, in the constructor, all that code which is about reading a file, copy that and put that into the constructor.
So line 58, you said, right? Or
Yeah,
the
no,
whole thing.
all the code responsible for reading a file. Wait, yeah, before you wait, yeah, wait, no,
Mhm.
it's going not an app. Go back to solar panel file. All right. So let's see before you copy, right? Did you copy? Is there like
Oh,
some parts?
oh,
Not
by the
not the
top here, private.
no. Are you cutting some things up? It looks like you're cutting the try block.
Oh, you mean the curly brackets here, right?
Yeah. So you're not copying the function definition. You just need the code responsible, but you can't just like it has to be like the correct syntax, right? So how many curly blocks does this open and brackets does this try block have?
It has 3.
So yeah, so the closing block. So copy what you copied, just for example. No, how you had it before.
This?
So does this block have 3 closing brackets?
No, I gotta do
Yeah,
all this.
yeah. So that function definition makes it 4. So, but you shouldn't even have to think about it like that. You see how the try block on line 56 is at the same line with its closing block on line 63?
Yeah.
Right? That's how you should section. When you copy and paste, that's how you should copy and paste. You should look at where the opening statement is at the same line as its closing bracket.
Okay. No, I'll
Right?
keep that. I'll definitely keep that in mind. This is just not something I'm like quite used to yet.
Yeah,
But
no, literally, yeah, yeah, because you're yeah, so yeah, you gotta copy. You're not copying the right code. You're starting with the function definition, private. We don't
Mhm.
want the whole function. We just want the code responsible for the.
Like this.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like you're copying bad code. Like that's what I was trying to point out. But when you have to when you copy something, you have to make sure you're copying it properly. That's all. So now let's go to the constructor of this method of this class, which is not app. So yeah, the constructor of here. So
The what? It's data, right?
no. Remember Java. Each file is a class.
Hmm.
So where's the constructor for this class? It's going to be in the same file.
Um, I would it be solar panel like
So that's the
this
name
over
of the.
here?
Yeah, that's the name of the. Yeah, and this is hard. This is why Java is hard, right? So, yeah, the constructor is always going to be in the class, right? So you see line 14.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when you see the name of the class as a function, right, that's its constructor.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so I paste it in here.
yeah. All right, good. All right, so now the result, right? So now that result is going to be, instead of on line 16, instead of it being a instead of being a property in the method, it's going to be a property on the class. So now make the result variable a property of the class.
So have the result be solar panel repository.
No. The result property needs to be a property on the class. Right? You see file path on line 11?
Yes.
What is that? Is that a property of the class or the file or the function?
That's a property of the class.
All right. So the same way you see it, line 16, please.
Okay. Um,
No, what are you doing?
okay.
Result. File path. What are you doing?
You said to make it the same as the.
Make result a property of the class. The variable result.
Um, wait. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure how to do that.
move result out of the function.
Okay.
The whole line, the whole definition of result. What are you doing? Wait, stop. You gotta copy the whole thing. Scroll back to the
No.
constructor. Line
And
16.
then
Line 16 needs to be no. Result. All right, put Control Z. Line 16 needs to go to line 13. Copy all of line 16 and put it on line 13. Copy. All right, you said cut. That's all right.
copy.
It's all right. Paste. Okay. So now result. Now you see that result is a property of the class.
Okay. Yeah, I do because this is the class and this is the constructor.
Yeah. So delete line 17.
Okay.
Very good. All right, good.
And then
All
okay,
right.
but so then now that it's part of the class instead of the constructor, what is that going to do for the like array list? Is it going to make it more
Yeah. So
like I
what you
have
need?
access to it?
Yeah, you have access to it now. Because right now
Okay.
it's just in the function. You couldn't really access it. Now you can access it from anywhere. You should be able to.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you should be able to. So you do create, read, update, delete, right? The result is going to be a property on the class, and then you should be able to update. All right, so now we would do. All right, let's line 13, private it. Prefix it with the private with the proper keywords, which is private. Okay. All right. Ask ChatGPT if that's correct. Yeah. Copy the constructor at along with its properties. No, I mean, yeah. So I mean, starting from public class all the way to the end of constructor. Ask ChatGPT if it's correct.
Well, I mean, if it's private, do I not have access to it in different classes now, or what?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a. Okay. All right. So fine. Yeah, let's go back. I just because I don't know Java like that, but yeah, let's go back to IntelliJ. Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
All right. Good. So file reader, right?
Mhm.
All right. So we're getting a lot of errors, right? So we're getting a lot of we're saying, did you import the file reader? You know what it is to import?
Um, I don't think we did import the file reader. I'm not.
Okay. Can you hover over file reader?
File reader. Where's that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, line 18 versus anyone says Java unhad file not found exception. File not found exception. Hold on, I'm not sure what that means. All right. File not found. Strange. All right. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, move over, and then we wanted. It said file path. So, yeah, I don't know why it's throwing an error like that, but yeah, maybe it's some Java thing. All right, let's go to line. So there's a function here, line 20, line to solar panel. Can you can you find that function?
Line to solar panel.
Yeah.
Okay. That was, and that's gonna be in this class, right?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, but instead of look for, when you have a lot of things to look through, don't look through the file like that. Just do Control F.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anytime you have a big list, Control F. Try to remember that. And then instead of typing it out, copy paste. Copy paste. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what line was that? File.
Line 20.
Read line.
No, line to solar panel.
Okay, line to solar.
Yeah, copy.
I'm trying to right click and it's not letting me.
Control V.
Okay. Oh, Control V.
Yeah, good. Right, now you see the arrow keys?
The arrow.
To the right?
Oh, these?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, click on them to move through the file until you find the function.
68, 103.
Good. Good. All right. All right. So basically, so you see what it's doing? Fields dot length equals 7, return null, and then they'll say parse int fields 1, and then right. So
yeah, that's the array.
Yeah, that's the array, right? So let's go to this. Okay, so yeah, see, it's telling you, but it's not telling you like the order of the key should be, because I'm not sure if you're but let's should try to check, because I'm pretty sure ChatGPT put in the right order. Can you go to solarpanel.java? Yeah, check the order of the properties, right? So ID, section, row, column, you're installed, material, and is tracking. Copy that constructor. Yeah, now let's go to data.csv. I want to make sure that when you grab this information, yeah, now paste it so you can compare it side by side. All right. Yeah, make sure that what's in the constructor is the same order as the first column, first row.
ID, section, row, column, year installed, material, is tracking.
All right, good.
Install.
All right, good. So now delete the constructor, or just do Control Z. All right, yeah, good. All right, now let's go back to solar panel file repository.
Wait,
yeah, good. Okay. All right, so this code, let's scroll to the constructor. Okay. Yeah, so this file looks good to go. So it's going to add it to the result. It's going to add it to that result variable. Can you hover over the result variable? Where it's defined, not where it's called, where it's defined.
Sorry, where it's defined?
Yeah, when I say defined, line 13, that means where you set it equal to something. Field result may be final. All right, just convert field to local variable. I think I understand. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Just All right, let's run the application. Yeah, cause the reason I'm so jittery is because Java has its own way of doing things. So, but yeah, let's run it. Yeah, line 21. line 21. You gotta delete that. You see what's on line 21? Yeah.
Yeah. And then reach the end while parsing. So go back to this and then rerun it, right?
So you see where there's a red underline. You see where there's a
Yeah.
red. Yeah. So usually when you have that, it's like, all right, there's an error that you gotta
Understood.
try to. Yeah, that's why I said just paste that into ChatGPT because I don't know why it's complaining about file reader. Java.
Okay. I mean, so I should just so copy this and then
Yeah, along with the error because I don't think chat. Yeah. And show it the error that you get and paste in the error that you get. All right, yeah, go back to IntelliJ. So while this loads, you could get the error. Go grab the error.
wait, you mean
Oh, I
grab
see
the
what's.
error?
Yeah, I see what's happening. You forgot the accept. You see this try block? You need to add the accept to it.
The accept to where?
Did they teach you about try accept or no?
No, I don't think so.
All right, yo. So try basically is like, okay, when the code that you're trying to run throws an error, it gets handled by accept, so your whole program doesn't exit. So back where you copied the code from, go to the method where you copied your code from.
That's which line is that?
Yeah, remember what I said. What happens when you have a lot to look through?
Oh, Control F.
Yep.
But what are we looking for?
The word try.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So you see the catch? Yeah, so there's only going to be 3 words. Right? You're looking for the code that you copied.
Not this, right?
Yeah. So you see the catch block? You see the catch block?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you need that catch. So you needed a catch block. You needed that catch block.
Okay, so I
Not the whole
copy all.
method. Wait, what? But think about it. What? How you gonna put a method in another method? You just need the code to get your code to work. You don't need the whole function. You just need the code to get your code to work.
Okay, so just get the catch block like this.
Yeah, but but you see how like you're adding more to it, right? You have to start at catch. What was that closing bracket on line 7-3 part of? Was it part of catch or part of try?
On line 73.
Yeah, there's a closing bracket, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not part of catch.
Yeah, but is so there's that. But return result, is that part of catch?
Um, no, because it's outside of the bracket.
Yeah, you want to copy the code that you want to. That's why I say copy the code properly, right? How many opening brackets does the first catch have?
Just one, so just this.
Yeah, but you see what you're doing. You're including the second catch. Why?
Oh, I thought that catch was part of the first one, no?
No, in Java, right? A code block is for as many open. Wait, hold on. Before you continue, right? The code when you finish copying code, it should end with a closing block.
Okay.
So the closing block on line 77, yeah, right, and it starts with catch, right? That's the code that you want, right? So now move it over.
To chat GPT, right?
No, to the constructor.
Okay, and then you Wait, where do we paste it? To inside these brackets?
right? So it's going to be after the try block.
Okay. Uh,
So you see
and then
how many brackets does the try block have open?
just it has two.
It has how many?
It has two.
Wait, you count again. Count again. You gotta like
Oh, three.
you
Sorry.
see.
One,
Yeah,
two, three.
it's okay. It's a habit that you got to get out of, right? That like you got to like read the whole line. Like you can't be leaving stones unturned, right? So you're going to paste the catch block at the end of this try block, which is the end of the third bracket. Did it say paste? All right, good. And now you're still getting an error. All right, that's okay. But all right, that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to say result equals find all. Delete line 29 to line 18. Delete the whole thing from line 29 to line 18. Yep. And we're going to say result equals find all because I saw that method. It actually returns the oh, you see how you deleted the closing bracket for the function?
Where? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I see.
Yeah, that result equals find all goes inside a function. You just can't have code outside the function like that.
Okay, so I gotta put it inside here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good. Right, and now instead of find all the function, you're gonna call the function find all. Right, so that's gonna be open close
It's
open close
so
parentheses. Yeah, open close parentheses. Good. All right, so results gonna equal find all. All right, so hover over find all. Is an error. It needs unhandled exception. Okay, so I see what happened. You gotta all right, so basically, so I don't like Java. You gotta try and then you have to catch the exception. All right, so wrap this code line 18 in a try block.
like that, or
Yeah,
no?
and then it needs to start with try. It needs to start with try. The
Okay,
block
that's the
needs to
start.
start with the word try. Yeah. No, that's not how you saw it before. Patterns, right? Patterns. How did you see it before?
I honestly don't remember.
What happens when you don't
Seems
know?
like, you look it up.
Go look it up. Yeah, but before you
And
look it up, didn't you see it in the code already? Didn't you copy try from the code?
um, did I copy try from? I guess
You
so.
didn't we copy a try block before?
Yeah. We controlled F for it, and then like this.
Yeah. So you see how the try, you see the try block, you see how try, there's try, right? And then there's the opening bracket. It's not the other way around.
Okay. Okay. So for this, then we would put try in front of the bracket here, right?
Is that a bracket or is that parentheses?
Parentheses.
Yeah.
So we would put it outside here.
Good. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Now fix the find all. Put the parentheses back with the word. And put it back. All right. And now you need the catch. Right. You need the catch statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the catch block's gonna go after the try block.
And then
right? And then you need to complete it. It's a block,
so
right?
then
The catch is a block, so you need open bracket, close bracket, right?
okay. Hang on. Right, or
Yeah, and then
is
all
that
right, I think that's good enough. Tell ChatGPT copy the constructor, paste it into ChatGPT and tell it to fix it for you. The constructor, not the properties, just the constructor. All right, good. Yeah, so now copy the try block with its catch block. Yeah, not the whole
and
code, just the
then
try. No, not you copy the whole code. Copy the try block with the catch block. Yeah. Yeah. See how? All right. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Paste. All right. Good. All right. Now see what the error is. All right. So it's saying required is array list provided is list. All right. So now let's go. All right. All right. Good. So basically, right, you got to turn that list that final was returning into array list. All right, so ask ChatGPT how to turn a list into to turn tell ChatGPT find all returns a list, how to turn it to array list. All right.
so I would copy this block then, and then
Yeah, but are you counting the closing parentheses? The open and closing parentheses, are they the same with the block that you copied?
there are two, so
And
I
how
would
many
say
closing yeah, before you, how many closing parentheses in what you copied?
You
there's
gotta get the one at the top.
the one at the top. Oh,
It's
this.
parentheses. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you wanna there's a right. So yeah, I think it's just you know, all right, but I think what we could do now just copy the whole constructor that from ChatGPT and replace it. Yeah, replace it. Good. All right, good.
Okay.
Get it set running later. All right, so when you see like a yellow line underneath something, that's not an error. All right, so let's try to see if you can run the application now. You want to go to app.java, right?
Hmm?
You want to go to app.java to get it to run. See different. Good.
I mean, it's not gonna, because all of this is red, so
Okay. See. Okay. So you see all these errors. Cannot find symbol text.io. Cannot find symbol console.io. All right. I see. Right. So you have to import everything. Well, it's taking longer than I thought, but you have to import. So this is what import. So when in an application, I was talking all day about importing stuff, right?
Mhm.
So when you finally decide, hey, this is the third-party tool I'm going to use, you got to import it, right? Languages have various ways of importing things. So
okay.
copy all of app.java. All right. Actually, you know what? Before you do that, can you right click on solar panel file repository, line 7? Yeah, import class. You see import class?
Mhm.
So you see what it did there?
It imported the class.
Yeah,
So do that for all this
everything.
here.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask ChatGPT to do it, but I knew IntelliJ was a bit better. I knew IntelliJ was capable of doing something. So
Uh,
all right. You see,
import controller.
yeah, I don't know. Let's ask ChatGPT. Time that now. Time to copy everything and find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I say, do I import a
At, at,
controller or
ask it to finish the imports. Ask it to finish
okay.
the imports. All right. So now copy that whole file. Replace it. Paste. All right. Good. Let's try to run it. Should see what happens. All right. So now it's running. Now it's running.
Oh, damn. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So now you know about something about importing. If you didn't know anything about importing, hey, thanks for the.
I mean,
You know.
I did know about importing, but I just didn't know why it wasn't um I didn't know why it was all red like that. Did
Yeah.
I like because well, should I have typed this all out or like what was the
No, you need to import it, but you need to know what to import, right? Because like in third parties, they're giving you an option. Which one do you want to use, right?
Mhm.
Without ChatGPT, you have to pick. You have to like go through each one. And Java applications, they could just present to you like 30 or 40 different ones. You have to know which one. That's with
Okay.
experience, right? But yeah,
Right.
you needed those import in order to use a third-party tool. You have to import it into your application. It's not enough to install it with Maven. You have to now import it into your code to get to using it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
now, so now what I want to do, I think to wrap up is we're going to print the result because it looks like the application ran, but I just want to make sure that that result array is populated. So let's go back to solar panel file repository, and now let's print the result. Print the result variable. Let's see its contents.
Print the result. Like, how do you?
Right. Think about it. Do you print the result before you call the find all function, or
No,
after?
after.
All right. And we know what the find all function's doing, right?
It's no the final function.
Yeah, find all.
Oh, find all. I thought you said final. Okay. Yeah, it's just finding the specific solar panels, right?
No, what is it really doing? Yeah, it's doing
Find
that, but what
all.
is it really doing?
Printing the list, I would say.
No, it's not printing the list.
Like then I'm not sure.
What happens when you don't know? I'm just trying to build a
Uh,
habit in you.
yeah, you look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
So,
while you're going to
well,
Google that, wait, while you're going to Google,
well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking ask ChatGPT, not go to Google, right?
yeah, no, but where's the find all function? Is it in Google?
Find all. No,
Where is it?
it's here in the solar panel file
Yeah,
repository.
yeah. So when you go to look for something, you gotta look in the right place. And no, now don't we?
Yeah, Control
Can't
V.
just
Okay.
go look.
Um, find all, right?
Yeah.
And um, and we're looking for find all so we can print.
No, what's the find
Um,
all function doing?
it's looking through the list of solar panels, right?
Is it all right? Go to the function. Well, go to the function where it's defined.
Uh, here, right?
That's where it's called, where it's defined.
Where's the defined? Um, for solar panel, find all, right? Um,
Oh, wait, do you know what it means to be defined?
when a function is defined?
Yeah,
No, not really.
that's when you see a function definition. So line 41, do you
Okay.
see a function definition?
List solar panel all equals find all. I mean, you're just finding a specific solar panel in the
Is that
list,
all
right?
right? So yeah, I'm trying to make it simple. Is that a function call happening on line 41?
No,
So you're saying a function call is not happening on line 41?
no,
All right, no, it is. That is a function
it
call,
is. Okay.
right? Your call open parenthesis close parentheses is a function call.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You said that before, right? When we were
Yeah.
in the
So
constructor.
yeah,
So do we have to put something in between those bracket, in between those parentheses, so we could find what's in the parentheses?
no. It's the definition where it's defined. Go to the fifth. Go to section 5 of 5 with the control F arrow keys. That's a function definition. So you see line 64.
Okay. Yeah, because
It's
it's
telling
being imported here, but it's also private, so it's not being affected. Um, right?
right. It's telling you
If
what
you,
it's returning. Right.
Mhm.
What is it returning?
It is returning
Data
uh,
access exception.
No, that's what it's throwing.
the
What is
array
it?
list.
Yeah, but read on line 64, right? So the function definition, right? Remember what we taught? It's going to be, remember from the interface? Line 64. You see,
Mhm.
all right, let's read this whole line 64.
Private list, solar panel, find all, throw data access exception.
All right, so when you see code that looks like this, is a private
Hmm.
keyword, right? You see that there's a type before. You see, then it follows by the type. Then there's a word, and then it says it's throwing something. You might not see it there all the time. That's called a definition.
Okay.
So in other
And that's
words, yeah, that's where you create a function. So now this is your function.
okay. And but find all is looking for what then? I'm still not sure.
No, what? So now I'm asking
Is
you.
it still a panel?
Yeah, no, it's a solar panel, but what is this? Read through the function each line, right? This function is code. Read through this each line, and what is it doing?
Array list, solar panel, result equals new array list. Um, try buffered reading. Try buffered reader. Reader equals new buffered reader equals new file reader. File path for string line equals reader dot read line. Line does not equal null. Line equals reader dot read line. Solar panel SP equals line to solar panel line. If solar panel does not equal null. It's so what I think it's doing is it's going through the array list, finding a specific solar panel by number, and then returning that out.
Yeah, that's good. But what is it also doing? Like this whole thing, right? Remember this. What's the goal of this whole exercise?
It's to, I mean, this whole thing. It's the function is searching for a solar panel, specific
No, no,
solar
no,
panel.
no. What's the goal of the whole exercise? No. So file reader, right? All right.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think you. All right. So it's not searching for a solar panel, right? The name of the function is find all. So it can't be looking for one solar panel.
Oh, it's just printing out the list of solar panels.
Wait, all right. You said print. Where you see the word print?
I mean, not print, but I mean it's like there's no print there,
Yeah.
but it's looking through the list of solar panels, right?
All right. All right. A better way. Did it remember everything that we're doing? Remember our goal? Our goal is to read the solar panels from the file. That's why we made data.csv.
Yeah.
Remember buffered reader? Remember file reader?
Yeah, I mean, I remember those, but I'm not sure what that does here.
No, that's what it's doing. It's reading your solar panels from the file. Look at line 66.
Try reader equals new buffered reader, new file reader. Oh, okay. So that
Yeah.
file path is where it's actually reading the. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get it.
Yeah, so what happened there, right? And then for you free as well free, right? Is like when it comes to application development, right? You have to learn how to like right. I think all right, so when you go into your room, right? You're able to identify your bed is at one side of the room, your TV's at the other side of the room, the door is at another side of the room, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Free. Yeah. So that's the
Oh,
same way you have to look at code. You can't just look at it as one picture. You have to be able to break it down. Like, okay, this is a function call. This is a variable. This is a class. Right? That's how how I'm working. I'm not looking at like I in the room like, all right, say if it was like your niece's or nephew's room, right? It's like one dirty mess. I'm like looking at it like, all right, or maybe your niece has a clean room, right? Just someone who has a dirty room. All right, let's say I don't want to, but a dirty room. You don't look at it as like, oh, this is one dirty room. Like you say, this is the bed, this is the door, this is the closet, this is the TV. So that's the same way you have to look at this code. You can't look at it like it's one giant mess, right? Even though that's what that's what code is most of the time. But
yeah.
you have to be able to identify. You have to say, okay, this is a function, this is a variable, right? When I see that keyword, anything I see file, all right, that means it has something to do with a file. Anytime. Well, and I think you were doing that to a degree, right? But I think that's with experience. But you know, yeah, I think with experience you'll be able to. But first things first, right? You want to be able to like the keyword. Once you see file as a keyword, right? That should be all right. This must be doing something with a file, right? I know you saw some keywords, but then you know. But if you weren't thinking about that like before, you have to like try to not read it all at once. You have to try to like read it like piece by piece. Like data exception is just an exception. It doesn't mean right that it's returning a data exception. It's just an exception, right? You can't you can't just like you have to like break it down. Like everything that you see has its own meaning. So but all right, but good. But that's good. So now let's try to wrap up here. Let's try to go back to the constructor and let's try to print out the result.
Mhm.
So now we establish, right? Result list. The result is after you call the find all function, right? So now let's print
Mhm.
out the result. So how do we print in Java?
You do well. Print it out after the result. So system. Well, it might autocorrect for this system dot print line. What was it?
It's
System
cap.
out.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's capital. capital S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good. So instead of result list, let's print out result. Let's see if it prints. All right, good. All right, so might not work.
And
What's up?
I was just saying we go to app to print it, right?
Yeah,
Or run it.
hopefully it prints, right? Because hopefully it prints. So now you got to rerun it, yeah. Because Java, Right. So you want to stop the application that's running, I believe, right?
Which application?
You want to hit the stop button.
Stop button. Okay.
Right. And now you want to start it again.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you see right there, empty list.
Where?
You see the empty list underneath, right? So at the top of the screen. At the top of the terminal. Expand the terminal. Expand the terminal. You see the path, and you see empty list.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Right. So that was the result. So it's empty, right? So there's something wrong, right? So now you gotta do a little debugging.
Okay.
All right. So, not the debug. You gotta put the debugger first. You gotta put the debugger first, right? So stop the program. Now let's go back to the solar panel file and let's go ahead debug that method, right? So let's go back to the solar panel.
Or solar panel file. Okay.
Yep.
And then
yeah, let's go back to
debug
find,
it.
yeah, the find all method.
Is that line 65, 66?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good. And all right. So all right, Roberto, I'll call on you. All right. Yeah, let's try to get everyone involved here. Yeah, I see. So Roberto, where should Dimitri put the debugger?
I would guess, what is it? Either line 67.
All right.
Actually, no, because it on the try catch, right? It's going through there and reading through the file, right? And yeah, then it's like what is it on 70? It's line to solar panel, right? And if I guess SP is not null, then it'll add whatever it finds to the result, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, it didn't find anything, and that's why the array of the list was empty. No?
Yeah. So where we need to put the debugger? What line?
Perhaps line 70, and between it's somewhere around line 70.
Yeah, that's good. I'll put line 71. In my experience, it usually goes on line 71, right? You want to evaluate it. But, I think line 70, let's try to see what's going on. Actually, you're right, because we want to walk into the function. All right, so, Dimitri, go ahead, put a debugger on line 70. Now let's run with the debug. You got it.
Wait, it's not.
No, it's working, right? So the reason why when the play button is disabled, because this is not the entry point of the application. What file is the entry point? Yeah. So when you're in the entry point, yeah, there you go. Click debug. All right, good. All right, so now you're looking for the variable, right? So now you're looking for the variable. Can you scroll down? Scroll down a bit. No, I mean collapse the viewer a bit so you can see the code. No, collapse the viewer. Yeah, collapse the. No, that's not the viewer.
Oh,
We want to see the code. We want
jeez,
to see
what
the.
am I doing?
No, not all the way. No, you don't want to make the debugger disappear. We just want to be able to see the code.
I don't know how to get that back, honestly. So
All right. Yeah,
maybe
stop and
I'll
restart.
go back.
Yeah, stop and restart. All right, good. Okay, so we're at line 70. Now scroll to line 70. All right, so that's where it is. Now we got to walk into the file. Yeah, but before that, right, we see line, right? We see line, right, in the debugger, right? Let's look at the viewer, the debug viewer, right? Do you see the variable line?
A line and then oh.
Yeah. So you see that's the columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't want that, right? We don't want that. So let's hit play. Hit the play button at the bottom left of your screen. No, not that. Go back to the debugger. No. The debugger icon at the left. Yeah, you see. Yeah, that play. All right. Yes, that play. All right, good. So now those are the values that we want. So now what we do, okay? So those are the values that we want. So let's try to see what's going on. Now let's go into. Don't hit the play button. I know you. Don't hit the play. You see the down icon?
Icon this?
No, I said down icon.
Oh, down. Okay.
Yeah. All right, now we're in there. All right. So line split delimiter. Okay. So now you see the delimiter. You see the variable. Actually, you know what, Steve?
Yeah.
Do you see the Steve? Do you see the delimiter variable? Steve. Steve, I don't know. Steve, can you hear us? Next one. Free. Do you see the delimiter? Or is it me? Okay, I can hear you, Free.
Yeah.
Okay, what value is that? Does that look like? You might not know what it's called, but what value is that? What does
what is that called?
what does it look like? Yeah, squiggly line. Yeah, it's called a tilde. It's
not the
called,
tilde, is it?
Yeah. One. Actually, in Linux, right? When you want to get to the home directory, that's the short.
You go to tilde.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Who said really? Yeah, that's how. Even we could try it, but we want to wrap up here. But all right, so we see that's the issue, right? All right. And then Steve, I know. All right, so Dimitri, now we got to update the delimiter. So now let's go find the delimiter, right where it's defined, and let's make that update. So stop the debugger and make the update.
Okay, and then find delimiter in here.
Yeah, where it's defined. Yeah.
Where it's defined. Wait, hang on. Wouldn't this be where it's defined? Because it's.
All right, when a variable is defined. All right, before that, right? Because we gotta know, right? We gotta know, right? When a variable is defined, you're gonna see equal to. You're gonna see its type, and you're gonna see it set equal to something.
Like this?
Yeah, that's what it means when a variable is defined. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't worry, all this is gonna be.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, all this going to be recorded, right? Or So now now that tilde, we gotta change it to what? So Steve, what do we have to change the tilde to?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Which? Okay. The comma. No, not the comma. Comma.
Yep. All right, that's right. So let's go ahead and change that.
Change it to
Comma.
Comma?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So so now let's So now with that, let's run. Now let's run the application. Don't debug it. Let's run it. Let's see if this works this time. All right, good. All right. So yeah, so all right. So this is good. This is good. This is good. Right. So the application still runs, but we have to. So this is what I don't like about Java, right? So in Python, everything was just print, but in Java, we got to turn it to a string, or we have to turn the array list to a string before we could print it, right? So let's go to ChatGPT. We're at the final stages. Let's take solarpanel.java, the class.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go grab the class first.
Okay.
Take the whole class. The whole class. Ask ChatGPT, I want to print an array list of this. How do I do it? Okay.
Oh, okay, I remember learning this actually,
Uh,
but now it's like coming back.
all right, good. So copy that for loop and let's see.
And then put it back into where we defined delimiter, right?
No, the constructor.
Oh, okay. So remove this. Right?
Well, what are you doing? What are you doing?
No.
What are you
Well,
doing?
you said constructor.
Yeah, but what file are we in?
We are in solar panel. Oh, we need to be an app, right?
Yeah, well, that's where to run it. But where do we get where do we call the find all function?
Solar panel file. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
And where did we print out the result?
We print out the results here and try. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you need to replace.
Okay, so replace all of this with the
Now-
array
now-
list that we just got.
Now replace everything. Wait, think about it. What do we have to replace? Between line 19, 20, and 21, Roberto, what do we have to replace?
It will be line 21.
Yeah. Right. Dimitri, you understand why it's line 21 only?
Because that's printing out the results, but the result's going to be the array list, but we're putting the array list instead of the printout method, right?
No, you want the for loop because this threw an error.
We want the for loop because it just gave us an error.
All right. Remember in the program when it threw an error?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did it throw?
Because we didn't.
You just talked about it.
I'm sorry. I'm honestly not remembering.
It was the for loop, right? From ChatGPT just now. It was the for loop.
That's why we need the.
We want to print the array.
Yeah.
So what here shows you how to properly print the array?
The result in the list here.
Yeah, that's that. But go back to ChatGPT.
Okay.
Okay. Where in this code is it responsible for printing out the contents of the array? The code.
I mean, I guess the array list.
You're guessing, but you have to prove when you don't try to assume. That's a bad habit. You always want to prove to yourself. And one thing I told you.
Oh no! It's the for loops. Okay.
Yeah, but
sorry, my brain's.
Your brain. You gotta get into the habit of you gotta read. Yeah. Don't leave a stone unturned. But all right, let's try. All right, I'll give you that. Your brain's hurting.
Yeah.
Java. That's what Java does. So copy the for loop, replace it.
Okay. And then because we already have results in the for loop, we do that. But now this is red, right?
Yeah, but you gotta pay. All right, all right. Your brain's hurting. Control Z. Let's wrap up. All right, let's wrap this up. Control Z.
Okay.
ChatGPT.
T. Just copy the code.
Yeah. So there's an open bracket. Copy its closing bracket as well. Copy.
And then
Paste.
print it here.
All right. So there's no solar panels. Replace the word solar panels with the word result.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So yeah, what's happening is on Okay, good. And now let's run the application. Now stop the application and start up again. Just gotta get this to work. All right. Hopefully this works now. I know how Java likes to be, but yep. Yeah. Expand. Okay. What's going on? For input string. All right. Let's see what's going on here. For input string ID, number format exception. All right. Can we go to your data.csv? See what's going on. Input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's go to solarpanel.java.
Solarpanel.java.
Yeah, so the solar panel class.
Okay, so I mean,
it's in the models. Yeah, solar panel.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So int ID. I don't know if it wants it lowercase. I don't know if it wants it lowercase. Can you go back to solar panel file repository? We're gonna. Yeah, let's try to. All right. Yeah, let's go to the find all method. Try out this up. All right, and then yeah, go to its definition. All right, let's go to line to solar panel. I want to see what's going on there. The function.
Line to solar panel.
Yeah. Yeah, go to its definition. Okay, parse int. Yeah, so and it's throwing an error. Right, and can you go back to the error?
You mean in here?
Yeah. For input string ID. Oh, okay. You see what's happening? So that first row, right? Right. Remember that first row? That first row are the column titles.
Okay.
Right. All right. So the first row is the column titles. So free, right? So Dimitri, go back to find all. So free. In the find all method, what does Dimitri have to do? Because he can't. Yeah, go to its definition, Dimitri.
Yeah, right.
Line 68 is its definition. That's the function call.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong equal sign.
Yeah, scroll into view. Yeah. What does Dimitri have to do?
I don't know.
Right. So if it's the first line, right? Because we saw on data.csv, if it's that first line, he can't call line 72, line to solar panel with that first line. For all the lines after it, he could do it, but not for the first line. Right? Because the first line is the column. It's not the actual ID. It's the column name ID. Okay? All right, so I think, Dimitri, just so we can wrap this up, data.csv, go ahead, delete the first line from the file. And then, Free, if you're saying something, I think you went on mute.
Delete this first line here.
I mean, the zero line. Yeah, the zero line. Yes. Yeah, you got me. Coding. The zero line. Yeah, yes, the zero line. Line 0, yes.
So
line 0.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make line 2, line
Okay.
1, and then, yeah, delete the zero line. Good. All right, good. All right, now let's try again. Now let's go back to app.java. Let's try to run the application. Yep, open on terminal. Good. No constant enum. Oh man, it's gonna take a while. All right, we're gonna. It's just some cleanup, but no enum constant value of line to solar panel material dot value of line to solar. Okay, well, all right, let's go back to solar panel file repository. Right, and then this is what application development's like. So yeah, go to line.
Sorry.
Yeah, go to line 120. Yeah, we're line 120. Okay. So it's saying material value of. Yeah, we're not gonna try to dig too much into it. What we're gonna do is just comment that line out, and then after it, just say fields 5. No. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Comment. You had it before.
Yeah.
// Yeah. And now after that comment, just say fields at index 5.
Fields at index 5.
Yeah. Just to get this to work. At index 5. No, the way it is with the method with the value passed to line 120, you see fields, open bracket. So I say fields at index, that means right field open brace and 5. That's index. Right? Because fields is an array. No, it's a comma. Yeah. Yeah, it's a comma. Right? All right, so now let's go to the solar panel class and let's just turn it to a string. Let's turn that. Yeah, go to solar panel. Okay, so you see line 11?
Yeah.
It's gonna be. You know what? Like I said earlier, open and close. Let's add a new property. Actually, you know what? You know what? I have a better idea. Comment. You know what? I have a better idea. Can you go to line 17 where it says material, at the end where it says material at the end of line 17?
Yeah.
Hit the. Yeah, no, just hit the enter key though. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, that you deleted it. No, hit. Go. Control Z. Start of line 17. Go to the start of line 17. I mean the start of the word material. I'm sorry. Go to the we're almost there. Start of the word material. Now hit enter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Now go to the end of it. Go to the end of it after the comma, after the word material. Yeah. Put your key there. No, don't highlight it. Don't highlight. Yeah, don't highlight. Yeah. Hit enter. Now comment out line 18. Good. And now comment out line 25. All right. Okay. Now let's go back to solar panel file. And now, let's comment out and just delete line 121. Delete line 121.
121.
Yeah, 121. Yeah. All right, good. All right, let's try. All right, now let's try to run the application. All right. Good.
Okay.
Good. All right. So okay. So that's the. All right. So that's the classes, right? So everyone see there, right? There's 7 classes, right? But Steve, do those look like the values that we want to see, or does it look like the class itself? You said it look.
Where am I looking?
Yeah. Can you say it again?
Where am I looking?
No. You see at the top of the terminal.
Yeah.
You see how there's like 8 items.
Yeah.
Each of those are the solar panel. But are we looking at the details of the solar panel, or are we looking at something else?
It looks like ID. Looks like an ID or something.
No, so yeah, close. That's actually what the solar panel looks like in memory. That's the reference to it. So that's the that's the reference to where it is.
Okay, memory address.
Yeah, the memory address of it. Yeah, in a way, right? So what we want to do, we want to print out the string representation. So let's put the cherry on top. All right, let's go grab the solar panel Java class. Ask ChatGPT to make a toString method for the solar panel class.
Just wait. Do I copy the whole thing or like?
Just copy the properties. Copy the properties. All right, you could copy the whole thing. It doesn't matter. And ask it to make a toString method.
Make it make a string.
Add a toString method on the solar panel class.
Okay. So.
Okay, so Roberto, what part of this code should he get?
This part, right? I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But...
all right, go grab it. All right, so go grab it. Right, but you gotta, you gotta copy it properly, right? You're not, you gotta copy it properly, right? So yeah. Oh, you did it. Yeah, almost. Oh, you see, yeah. There you go.
Okay, and then we add it to solar panel, right?
Yeah, add it to solar panel.
Just anywhere or
anywhere.
Okay. And isn't there another string method that we have to copy or no?
What we have to do is we have to go back to the spot where we're printing the solar panels, and we have to call, solar panel to string. So let's go to the solar panel file repository. Let's go back to. Yep. Go back to where?
Go back to the constructor.
Yep.
And then we have to call that string that we just put in solar panel, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yep. So for time's sake, line 24. You see where the word solar panel, the variable solar panel is? Line 24.
System out. Yeah, solar panel. Yeah.
Yeah. Add dot string dot toString to the end of it.
Okay.
Right now, call it. It's a method, so you have to call it.
So how do you call again?
Open
It's like
parentheses, close
import.
parentheses. No, import. Yeah, it's okay. Open parentheses, close parentheses. Good. All right, now let's try to run the application. Good. Finally.
Okay. I mean, it looks like it makes sense, but I mean, there's no errors anywhere, so I guess the logic is sound, but I'm still so.
Wait. Yeah. But all right. We made it. We made it to the end. There's no errors. Yay. We're seeing all our values. Right. We're done. No, we're actually done. It's over. That's Java for you guys.
Are you sure?
Dude,
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Scroll. Yeah, I know. You're not. I know. It's exact. It can hurt your brain. It can hurt your brain. But let's scroll up. Let's expand the terminal section.
Okay.
Yeah, scroll up. Yeah, our whole goal was just to get the database into the application. We just loaded this database, which is the CSV file, into the application. That was our goal, right? So that's the goal, right? So right, the rest you have to do, right? But now this action of creating, updating, deleting, right, should be much easier. So free, right? So in order for Dimitri to create, right, what does he have to do to this array list? Can you scroll up, Dimitri, to where the database is? Scroll all the way to the top, right? So free, what does he have to do to create a new solar panel? And then free, are you on mute? That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he just has to add another solar panel to this array list, right? That's all he has to create it. He just has to call that solar panel and then push it to the list. All right. Steve, what about we already listed all the solar panels. What about updating a solar panel? What does he have to do?
You have to select the solar panel that you update.
Actually, you know what, Roberto. Steve, we're going to do delete. Roberto, what does he have to do to update a solar panel?
Are we talking about just like right here on the command line? Because it seems like he needs to have the selection, or you mean like in the code?
Yeah, in the code. Like code-wise, what would he have to do?
He will have to select whichever solar panel and then just change the information that he wants to update.
Select it how? How does he know to select one solar panel from another?
Based on the ID.
Yeah, ID.
So you have to find the specific solar panel based on the ID, and then from there, if let's say you would want to change the section or the row, you will have to pick what information you want to update from it.
Yeah, but long story short, ID. Good. All right, yeah. Steve. Yep. So Steve, now how would he delete a solar panel?
He'd take that selection and remove it from memory.
Yeah, it will be from the array. Yeah. That from the array. At a very low level, but in application develop. Yeah. So from the array. Yeah, that happens. I mean, it's Java, and you do play around with the memory, but in application development, I don't want you to have to think that you're going into memory. You're actually dealing with the code. right? We are actually
Okay.
dealing with the variables, right? Think of it as more
Okay.
as like, oh, I'm gonna deal with the variable. How do I modify the variable? Not modify
So he would
memory.
delete it. Okay, so he would delete it from the array.
Yeah, I mean at a lower level that's happening, but right now but when you get into application work, don't think about memory. Just think about variables and functions, okay?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna wrap up. Yeah. So once again, the all the links are in the chat. Join us in the Slack, right? And check out We Build Black. And really, thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. Appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you.
This is very, very helpful.
Yeah. All right. All right. Very well, guys. Yeah. So every Saturday
Right,
we
guys.
have. Yeah. So every Saturday we have these, and looking forward to the next one. All right. Sounds good. Let's go.
Bye, everybody.